Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is BMT coming at you again. Uh, Pretty much, I'm gonna have this conversation with you guys. Um, it's been something that I don't know. It's been glossed over for years. It just never was talked about. It never was brought up. It never was went over. I don't know. I kind of and I looked around for it emphatically. Let me actually read some of the comments real quick, see what they got to say. Ed Unchanged. I will make it before the podcast. Um, I will, I will make it simple before the podcast even starts. It's not necessarily swept under the rug. The difference in perception: one is norm in the culture, the other is one is norm in the culture, the other isn't. Now, I want you to understand the context of that. That this is where we're having the code of silence of black men that's saying that I'm gonna make it one is not swept under the rug. Well, if it's not swept under the rug, then why is it not talked about? Domestic violence is at an all-time high. Not too long ago, we were literally having people laughing. You was in that chat, and I was there too. You had it where people were laughing at women are getting their ass beat during COVID. Brothers can't go to work, so they were beating their women. You were laughing at that, Edward Unchained, Edward Unchained. So I was trying to figure out, like, what are you talking about? It wasn't like it was like, well, the women they're going to come back and this and that and submit. Differences in perception. Domestic abuse is domestic abuse. What's the perception in that? One is the norm, which is literally one of the norms that are talked about and echoed now, especially on culture, dating, media, is submission. So it actually is starting to become normal. Nobody actually blinks or thinks about it hardly ever about abuse and the culture. What's the culture? I mean, granted, there is a black culture and there's a dysfunctional culture. So which culture is it in? And the other isn't. I don't even know why I talk to dudes who don't even date women. Like this guy doesn't. This guy literally brags about not even dating women. Of course, James Doe is way off. Cops going off killing girlfriend doesn't make for great news. James, I don't even know why we talk to you. You're not even you don't even know what black people talk about. You're just out of the loop. Being a cop doesn't okay. Being a, I don't know why we talk to James. He just lost. He comes around black people, but he don't know what to talk about with black people. Um, so we're definitely having this conversation. We're definitely having this conversation because there has been a whole slew. There has been multiple times of things that have gone on or happened in the home, as like people like to say, um, that's happened in the home that isn't properly addressed. Make sure I get my hairband back. That isn't properly addressed. One of them is domestic abuse, which literally goes from beating, killing, and sexual assault, aka rape. Um, a lot of this happens in the home. A lot of this happens behind closed doors. A lot of this is swept under the rug. That has and it's not talked about. And it's easy to say, well, it's Pookie doing this. It's a thug doing this. But nobody wants to talk about the blue and white collar men that are doing this. Nobody wants to talk about them. I'm a blue collar man. So I don't mind talking about it because I understand that a lot of stuff that does go down in the home. I'm in the military, former military. Domestic domestic abuse was way up there. Can't tell me times we had to go and get a soldier because he get into an altercation or an argument or a fight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Things happen like that, and it's very bothersome because we like to pin it off on the thug, the problem child, but we don't like to talk about the guy that clocks into the 9 to 5 that does the things, that actually comes home, that rather stay out and drink and get high or whatever than come home, and he takes it out on his home because he can't. Oh man, my check just got diminished because, and I've been there. I've been there where the check does good morning. I've been there. Domestic violence. Indeed, Arel, let me know if you want to talk. You know what I'm saying? You got immediate access. I'm only putting content creators on. I don't want no. If you're not a content creator, I really don't want to talk to you. I have no need to talk to y'all. Um, this is at an all time high. This is something that's very swept under, and we're going to look at the merit of stuff happening because the majority of people that are in family court, that are in these child service custody cases, they're not the pookies. These are educated working class men. These are educated working class men that are getting caught up in these situations that are not being talked about. And if we as men or as people cannot talk about this, then literally that's a failure in black men's society. That's a failure in black men's society. I'm so tired of hearing about, well, what back in the day, back in the day, back in the day. Dude, last time I checked, back in the day, it was pretty fucked up. No, then it literally, you want to know why I say it's at an all time high, Jay? And it's fair to say that it's at an all time high because here's a predicament. Murder cases are skyrocketing. Assaults are skyrocketing. These cases, and the thing about it is one, nobody's reporting truth. Nobody's reporting it to the police. Now, during COVID, at the height of COVID, when people had to deal with each other, you know, it was pretty bad. Society now does not have the logistic resources to keep up and combat the mental strain and severity of these situations. I'm just being real, man. We definitely can tell by that by looking at the reflective algorithm of how look at the conversations that are going on now. If you have to have a conversation on when it or when I might have to smack my woman, you're pretty far gone already, dude. You're already pretty far gone. And I'm questioning. on some of the stuff, man. So let me go ahead and grab at it. Let me grab at it real quick. Let me grab at it real quick. Hang on. Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. I know we have things going on. What's going on? What's going on? Underrated. How you doing? Grab that. Actually, what the hell? Okay, so actually, that is correct. Man, that's what I'm saying. James, shut up. You're saying stupid stuff again. Like I said, the first one, the first article is about a cop. We know that, James. God damn it. James just sometimes, bless his soul, bless my Chinese white American man that's just lost. All right, y'all. So let's look at it. I want y'all to understand. First of all, this is not a bad looking brother. So he's not hurting in the looks department. She's not a bad looking woman. She's a very fine looking woman. This is a very nice looking man. So it's not something that he could say, "Well, I'm hurting in the looks department." He has a job. He's a cop. I'm trying to figure out what is the severity. Let's look at this. Chicago police officer, 29, only 29 years old. This man isn't even 30. Is charged with murder of his girlfriend, who had his baby 9 months ago. After she discovered he had baby with another other woman and confronted him. So let me get this straight. So this guy had a baby with one woman, and less than 9 months got a baby with another woman. But rather than dealing with the social pressure of being confronted about what he did, and I know some people say, well, he could have done that. That's no problem. He wasn't married to her. True. But I'm sure, I don't know, we don't know the context of the relationship, but you are somebody that upholds the law. You are a law abiding citizen. You are a man that literally went to the police academy because you are a Chicago police officer. So you went to the academy, you got training. And you mean to tell me that because you got confronted by this woman, and she's not a big woman, she's not ugly, she's not no destructive woman, literally mama bear. I mean, that's a cute shirt. He's a very fit man. Because she confronted you, you killed her. Pierre Tyler, 29, faces one count of first degree murder for the death of mother of two Andreas Wolford, 29, mother of two Andreas Woodford, 29, 29, after alleged fatally shooting her in the head. Wow. Wolford, okay, now I got it. Wolford was found dead inside her apartment on the northwest side shortly after 10 a.m. Thursday by police. Tyler was caught in surveillance video entering and leaving the apartment on the 2000 block of North Nashville. Police said Tyler's defense lawyer said the evidence is largely circumstantial. Okay, so let me get this straight. You went to her apartment. She confronted you about the other woman, and you shot her in the head. bro. You could have left. You could have left. You could have got out. Like, and I know some people say, "Well, what if he couldn't have left?" You're not going to tell me with all that training as a police officer, you're a stocky built man. You're not going to tell me there is no way you could not have gotten out. You got there. You could have gotten out, man. There's no way this woman could have overpowered you to the point where you needed a gun. And it's crazy. And I know there's, and I can promise you right now, there's going to be some people who are literally, going to band together, um, to try to actually run a gambit for this guy. They're going to try to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, what did she do? And I always ask that question. Y'all sound like people sometimes, I'm just saying, when white people, whenever they shoot a black person, and then the first thing they ask is, well, what did he do? That's the question that sometimes I be hearing. I literally, my mind baffles and blinks. He killed her. What did she do? At what level did your baby mama, a woman with two kids, literally pose a threat? Mind you, she just had a baby, so I doubt she's literally was that strong to take you. But this is that stuff that literally, and I didn't see no content creators or nobody holding this want to talk about it. But then you have these conversations where they're saying, well, the men were moving up. How so? If you can't, you know what I'm saying? If you can't call out the DVs, the issues like this, then how can you count yourself among the men? And that truly is a very that's a very big issue of silence. And the thing about it is when men do talk about it, you know what they say? They're simps, they're suckers, they're lames, um, that they're weak, that they're part of the gynocracy. No, dude, maybe I just don't want to have or see a reason to literally have to beat on. And listen, man, I've been in situations in my life. There is nothing to that point to where you need to beat or kill or have to sexually take advantage of somebody because you think you have the money or you think that you're in a financial acclamation. And the thing about it is, we have this depiction that these types of men don't do this or don't get into this type of activity when actually it's so much further from the truth. Because these type of men do not seem as if they're capable of it when literally a lot of them have access to do it. It's no secret. You need your car fixed? Give me some pussy. You need this done? Do this, do that. Why do we pretend like this ain't a real thing? But then you start side eyeing these same people and start saying that, yo, these people can't be trusted. This is why y'all have it where some of these other dudes, these thugs, are just running up on these educated dudes like, yo, dude, you trying to fuck my sister? You trying to do this? You trying to do that? Like, we're not gonna play games anymore. I'm not playing games with y'all motherfuckers. Like, y'all be the same dudes that be online screaming and hollering about the environment of the women, but let's be honest, the women know about y'all. The women are not going to submit to these types of dudes that think because I have a job, because I have some type of insurance from my through my workplace, that literally I have the right of access to do whatever I want to women. It makes no fucking sense. Well, actually, in their mind, it does make sense. What's going on, Alonzo? What's going on, educated areas? And we noticed that we done heard about this at colleges. Nobody want to talk about the colleges. Like, would they be having orgies? Would they be having sororities or literally football players? Oh, you thought just the gang members be running trains on women? I ain't never seen it where one woman could could force a man or two. Like, you're not gonna tell me with all that strength that literally five girls can overpower you. But we do have a lot of stories of women. And I know somebody will say, "Well, women lie." Yes, they do. We would not push that off. But we also know, and we can also pull out a lot of men that are literally doing a lot of stuff. And let's get back at the article. Let me get back at it. But I got the news article for it. I'm gonna play those on my talk. So this is a guy, light bright, light skinned dude. He's a Chicago Police Department, so we can pull up his stuff. Not duty cop was charged for the death of his girlfriend and mother of his baby daughter after she confronted him. After she confronted him. Hold on. Hello. Huh? I'm doing a show. Sorry about that. All right. So we now know, looking at this, why she confronted him. That was his girlfriend and the mother of his baby. So now the child does not have either parent because he was stroking out another woman. And rather than just deal with that of facing what he did, he saw forward to have to kill her, shoot her in the head. We're not going to pretend that a lot of these men that are complaining about the woes in women, that are these so-called guys, they're not mentally unhinged. That some of these same guys come from broken homes. Yeah, I get it. The women are messed up in cases. Yes, I get it. He laid down with a single mother. That was his choice. His choice. But whatever he told her to get in bed with her, god dang it, he gonna face the fact that, hey, you know what? I could go ahead and make more eggs out there in the streets. But he gonna face the fact of being called out. And see, this is the big issue that we do have with. I'm not gonna lie, man. This is a big issue. Black men don't like being called out by other men. They want to call out the women, but damn it, you cannot have another black man call out a black man. But they're gonna look at you goofy as hell, like, hey, bro, you supposed to be on code. You know what? All these black women out here, no, shut up, man. Like, honestly, you know what? That be the shit. Y'all be making the case argument for a lot of what the people be saying that, yo, man, it don't be, it don't. This is why some of the women rather choose the Pookie over a lot of these mentally unhinged men. You can have the money, you can say you can have the job, or why don't they want to choose an educated brother? Because they know that a lot of y'all are mentally jacked up. Let's just be honest. A lot of these dudes who are like socially inept, awkward, it's no secret that they have some mental background issue that they have not properly dealt with. And so they may get a lick or a taste of vagina, and they believe that they have some type of ownership or control because they have a wallet or a purse. And I told y'all in this day and age that literally the playing field has now become equal. Y'all don't have to like me saying that, but the playing field has now become equal, man. She does not have to doggone bend in knee, doggone to that will of you as the king. And some of y'all, and a lot of men these days don't like hearing it. That's why they feel a certain type of woe or will that, hey, how can I get this woman to come back under me? Maybe she was gonna kick him out. Maybe she was gonna doggone call him out, or maybe she was gonna call the other woman. Whatever. But, bruh, Pierre 29 faces one count of first degree murder, in connection with the death of her mother, Andreas, after allegedly shooting her in the head. The couple welcomed daughter Ava just 9 months ago. Wolfer was found dead inside her apartment. Okay. Um, and like, the thing about it is, I gotta have a realistic conversation. You know, we gotta stop this narrative of shame that dude ain't out here trying to sleep with baby mothers or women with children. I'm gonna stop calling. I don't want to call them baby mothers. We got to stop this narrative that women with children are not the by far most approached or sought after in the black market, because you know that they've already been sexually promiscuous. That's why a lot of dudes think that they can be the white knight savior and step in and sweep that up. Like, and see, it's no secret, because you in your mind you're like, well, if I can get cool with, you know what I'm saying, hey, I can step up and be that guy, that go to, then yeah. And I hate this doggone narrative that dudes are not out here doing it. I'm not gonna lie, I played the game. I had no problem getting with a woman with kids. It never bothered me. YouTube is weird because YouTube up and down swear black dudes ain't out here trying to get with women with kids. That's a lie, dude. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. Majority of the group of men, especially in the Western world, majority of the group of men in the first world country don't mind getting with a woman with kids, man. Especially if they have the resources. It does not bother them getting with a woman with a child. It's been done for a long time. It's a practice that's been done since medieval times, all throughout history. Woman with a child, oh, okay, cool. Don't care. Come on. Her vagina still works. At least I know she can bear children. Tyler was caught in surveillance video entering the apartment, leaving 21 bucks. Defense lawyer said that the evidence is largely circumstantial. The couple had prior. Now look at this. The couple had prior documented domestic dispute. According to relatives of the victim, she confronted Tyler after found out he had a child with another woman. And had child support hearing pending. Police said it's unclear how old the child is, whether it was conceived while Tyler and Wolford were together. So let me get this straight, because I swear up and down, dude, I always hear it's just Pookie, it's just doggone Ray Ray, Junebug, Jarquarius. It's only certain the lower degenerates that can literally go out and make these babies. But nobody wants to talk about the Tylers. Nobody wants to talk about the Mark. Nobody wants to talk about the Anthony. Nobody wants to talk about Tech Joey. Nobody wants to talk about welder Alonzo. Not nothing to get you, Alonzo. Shout out to Alonzo. Nobody wants to talk about the guy that works at T-Mobile. Nobody wants to talk about the guy that like nobody wants to talk about the generic guy. Like, I get it, dude. Like, I get it, man. We're getting money, we're getting paper. Women see us with money that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You're seeing women are going to acclimate to a guy that looks like he has something going, man. Hmm? Women are going to acclimate to that because they see you got something going on. They see you got a little bit of a bag or you got something going on. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so you get access. You might be feeling yourself. This is not that day and age anymore where you think that you can make a baby down the street and nobody else is going to talk about it, man. I told you all yesterday, man. We have the systems now. We have systems in place. We have social media. It is nothing for Mama Rain to get on Facebook saying, my baby, Tanya, looks like her baby, Marcia. Why do these two babies have the same noses? Y'all don't make, I don't know why people, listen, educated black man, understand this. It's called the internet. People can look up stuff now. Whoever circle you are in, 9 times out of 10, somebody from your other circle is in their circle. I don't know why y'all think that. Why? Listen, bro, we have enough time, man. We do. Listen, bro, people are not dumb anymore, bro. We've heard the horror stories when doggone when like when doggone like somebody dies or somebody gets sick, or when you go to school, guess what? Y'all don't think that people don't listen. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you a little interesting thing that mothers do. Mothers, when they take their kid to school, they look at their child and they look at all the kids in the room to see if anything on that child matches up with any of them kids. Hey, sincere one. Who's going to email Perry? Shout out to Carol. I don't know why y'all don't think women are not astute to catching up to the day, man. Like, this is the thing that be getting me, bro. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, educated black men, maybe some of y'all are slow to the skip game, but these women are understanding the environment very well. Maybe you're like, I don't know why you think this is back in the day with the horse and the carriage, and that literally she can't say nothing back. Or I don't know why y'all keep bringing up that stupid saying that, well, back in the day, you could have a woman down the street and then have a woman in your yard and grandma wouldn't say anything. Nobody's no. This is why. This is why the modern women of today have a disdain for the women of yesterday, because they look at it as, listen, man, I'm not gonna be like you and go out silently. He gonna hear my mouth. He's gonna hear what I have to say. I'm not. If he puts his hands on me, he's going to jail. And see, you thinking that you can impose fear in them, it's not going to work. Like, literally, y'all don't understand, man. The CDC in different censuses are stacking up the data, man, and it's not looking funny, man. No, no, you're right about that, Iman. People did say something, and we always forget that same us kids, we were in the room. We were in the room. We may not have understood everything, but we knew there was a reason why Mama Carol came crying to Grandma, and Grandma said, "Hush." You got to just accept the deal. Little Tanya don't have to accept the deal no more. See, this is why the educated black man hates the system, because now your resources can definitely be acclimated and taken from you if you doggone break your viable contract. You got a girlfriend. You thought things were going to be sweet, that she was going to butt back. All things not a G said, why grandma didn't cry. Listen, I seen some women that were pretty cold when Earl hit that grave. When Tom and Jerry hit that grave, them women didn't cry. If anything, they cooked. They had the biggest feast ever. I'm like, are we having a funeral or a feast? Like, wait, is this a celebration? Why are we happy that he? I'm like, definitely something more happened that I don't see. What's going on, Kevin Kelly? But the educated black man, you gotta understand, the rules to the board are definitely being changed. The rules to the board are definitely changed now, man. People ain't oblivious to this, man. The couple had prior, so the couple, and this is something that the family, I'm not gonna lie, man. This is a big issue that we have. When people hear or know of different domestic disputes and issues, listen, y'all, brothers, we gotta start having sit down with the men when we start hearing of things happening, and start actually putting them in perspective. Okay, I want you to understand. Some people, mostly some women, are afraid to confront the men at times because they're afraid that, yo, man, this man might dead me off. This man is crazy. And I know we'll say, well, I don't. Why would they get with somebody crazy? Listen, you don't know people truly until you actually start spending time with them, and then people start truly showing you their true nature. When they truly turn up or flip out and they start beating on the car horn, or they start screaming, or they grab you and shake the shit out of you. I've seen these things happen, bro. Dude got mad at a spades game, grabbed his doggone girl by the back of her neck and mushed her head against the wall, bro. My regret was that none of us guys did anything. We didn't step in until the females stepped in and were trying to get him off of her. And then we were like, yo, dog, like, take your hand off of our girls. But the women were quicker to the jump of actually getting him off of her because she was laughing that he was losing. But literally, I had to wonder what would that the women will jump to that of the aid of a woman being beat on faster than the men in our community. And y'all can challenge me on that. But the black women will jump on a man. They will try to fight a man faster than the black men that have no ties to that woman will jump on. And y'all gonna have to show me like, oh no, the men are no, the women, unless the men feel connectivity to that woman, for the most part, we kind of hang back. The women say, fuck that. that's a woman getting beat on, and they will just jump in. Women will try, knowing that they're going to lose, to try to fight that man. They will scratch, bite, grab weapons, whatever it takes. Because in their eyes, we have to find some way to take this man down by any means necessary. And so they started to acclimate and acquiesce that if we can't beat him, then by God, we'll take his seed and train his seeds to beat his ass. And so now you have it where the new generation of men coming up have no problem taking down or fighting their own kin, the black man, because the women understand I can't beat you, but by God, I'll train your sons to beat you. It's a cold world, man. I know. You know how many of my mother's lovers I fought? Truckers, welders. Not that I took pleasure in doing that, but I knew one thing: you wasn't going to put your hands on my mama. I get it. She get out of line. She might scream and holler. She might say some things, but you're not going to punch her or hit her. And you know the thing that's crazy about it? My mom would never call the police. I would literally say, "Yo, call the police, kick him out." She's like, "No, no, 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 no. Joe, just get him off of me. Just get him off of me. I'm not gonna if I get you off of me, bruh, I'm gonna try to kill you." And I come close to killing almost a few of her lovers. One of them, I beat him real good. Like he could not go to work. She literally had to stop me. She jumped on my back. I could feel her crying and literally saying, "Please stop, Josiah. You will go to jail if you kill this man." I said, "Mom, look at your face. This nigga." Because me and my brother were going to stomp and beat this man within an inch of his life. I'm trying to tell y'all, start. Y'all could call me whatever the hell y'all. I honestly don't give a damn. But I can tell you right now, my hands are definitely official. My hands are definitely official, bro. I can take a punch. I could take a board, a 2x4 being broken on my back. I can take the best of them, bro. And I ain't never been afraid of a gun being pulled out on me or a knife. I said, make sure you aim for the head. These scars on me, all on my body and stuff, they're seasoned metals. You're not going to put your hands on a woman in my tribe and think I'm not going to come get you, bro. You're just out of your damn mind. Listen, if I don't get you at that house, I'm going to get you at that bar. If I don't get you at that bar, I'm coming to your mama's house. I'm going to your baby mama's house. I'm going to get you, bro. And y'all need to understand the new acquisitions of younger men that are coming around. Yes, they are mentally jacked up, but they are also being mentally re-engineered that literally you're not going to do what you think. That's why y'all calling a lot of these men blue pill simps and X, Y, and Z. They're coming from an abusive era or generation that y'all literally listen, man. It's very jacked up, bro. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag of a lot of stuff, man. And I speak about this very passionately because I don't want you brothers to lose your life. I don't want y'all to go to jail. I don't want y'all to lose y'all livelihood, falling behind, thinking that just because you're a man that you have the right to do what you do to these women, bro. I'm trying to tell you right now, man. Like the powers that be, you may win that day, you may win that week, but I promise you, there is a higher plane of existence that will put you down sooner or later, man. Tyler, who joined the force in 2016 after serving 8 years in the Army. God damn. This man was a vet also. Oh man, Tyler, God, that what's going on with you, bro? Tyler, you was a whole veteran, and also, oh man, you a vet, and also you were a cop for 8 years, bro. I already knew you were jacked up, bro. God dang, bro. Let me just smoke my. Let me just smoke my pot. God dang, man, you just, this is why a lot of veterans don't even stay married that long, bro. Like we already know. Well, at least we'll have it like, God dang, Tyler, who joined the force in 2016 after serving 8 years in the Army, after being held at Cook County Jail without bond until his next court hearing in December 31st. Friends of Wolford, who was a child welfare wow, she was a child welfare specialist. She said had ended her relationship with Tyler in March and had co-parenting relationships with him whenever he decided to do for his child. God damn, man. I told y'all, bro. Like these women can break off from you, bro. Like y'all, listen, bro. I'm gonna have to do a stream. I'm gonna have to do a whole separate stream. That, bro. It's okay to let her go, bro. Like you can make it, bro. It's okay not to have her, bro. You can make it, man. This is a beautiful woman, bro. This is a beautiful young woman, bro. Like and that's not a bad looking apartment, bro. Like, yo, bro, nobody needed to die, bro. She did not have to die. On December 8th, Tyler was caught in security footage walking in front of the apartment door unit. Police said Wolford reportedly made calls to family members between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. asking them to pick up her 9-month-old baby, Ava, from daycare before neighbors heard her and Tyler argue at 7 p.m. Prosecutors said one neighbor reported a loud bang approximately between 8:30 and 9:30. No more arguing was heard after that. Tyler was then caught again in surveillance video leaving the back door of the apartment after 9 p.m. said he allegedly carried a gun inside the holster behind his back and a distant keychain, a distinct keychain Wilfred was seen using before her keys and cell phone were missing. Police said, Jesus, boy. So both of them had jobs. Both of them, he left in his car. Message from Wilfred's cell phone indicated she would soon be at her father's place. Oh, can't say that there wasn't a dad. Can't say that she didn't have a dad. Can't say she didn't have a dad. She had a whole dad. Wilfred's parents alerted the police. She had a dad and a mom. And well, who found her inside of the front door of her apartment with gunshot wound to the head. She was still wearing her coat when she was found by police, and there weren't signs of forced entry. So that means she let him in. Can't say that it wasn't a dad, man. Like, you can't say there wasn't a dad, man, because literally, um, you know, this man literally had training. This man was a cop, and he was ex-military. Y'all can't say this was some bum broad. This was a beautiful woman with a whole career. Oh, because she had a baby? Well, he was a vet, so we already know he was mentally jacked up. Like, y'all, like, we need to stop with like this, like, and no, man. Oh, shout out to you, Stingray Cool. Very special shout out to my young homie. Special shout out to my other brother, Super Mike. But the family knew that this guy had some issues, man. Let me see if I can grab. Um, let's see if I can grab y'all a link, man. But literally, man, this could have definitely like this is the thing about it, man. And shout out to Jay. Jay said this earlier, man. We make it seem like some men and women, for the most part, a lot of them would rather co-op parent with the man rather than having to take it to court. Mind you, she's a welfare specialist. So I'm pretty sure she knew how to move the numbers. Bro, you could have. So she just confronted you because you thought you were going to get your cookies with her, but also, and this is the thing I'm telling you, man. Like you run this gambit game, man, and it never plays out very well, man. With DirecTV stream, so we definitely have a lot of these things happen, bro, that we need as men. That sometimes you just have to we just have to just call out, and I mean honestly, if it's not talked, if we don't start addressing it, bro, the environment for men is going to shoot up and get worse, bro. If we don't start to actually start to attack and start to call out these things, like, listen, man, like, I want to show y'all. I want to show y'all with outer society. Um, season all this. I want to show y'all. Mind y'all, I'm gonna show y'all something. And thank y'all for joining me. Please like the video, share the video, share the content of the video. Yep, it's correct. It was not a Pookie and Ray Ray family. We like to think that because Ray. Let's go down. Let's see, the examiner ruled Wolford death homicide Friday. Um, Wolford's father, who was babysitting Wolford's child, received a text from his daughter phone at 9 p.m. saying she would be there in a bit, but she never arrived. Her parents contacted police the next morning. Like, the prosecutors described how Warford was still wearing her coat, responding Sunday. She's still a shell found next to her body indicated she was killed by a 9mm bullet. That shell casing matched the one found in Tyler's um, gun range bag during the execution of the search warrant. Tyler was subsequently arrested and stripped of his police powers. Tyler allegedly told investigators during the initial interview that he had been to Woodford's house that afternoon, but left in the evening to meet a confidential informant on the west side. Tyler's partners told investigators it would be abnormal for Tyler to meet confidential informants alone in his personal car. They said they were not with him that night. Tyler also claimed he left his firearm at Woodford's place, but the gun was not found. Defense attorney Tim Grace described the case as largely circumstantial. Yeah, you going to jail, brother. Highlight Judge Tyler's service in the U.S. Army, which included 2 deployments to Afghanistan and Kuwait. A graduate of Professor High School, who also served in the National Guard and reached the rank of sergeant before he was honorably discharged. So, like, listen, man, when y'all start telling off y'all resume background It only stacks the accountability bar higher. Black men, I want you to understand. When y'all tell about y'all military service, that y'all finish school, that y'all literally have certain circumstances of things under your belt, you're literally telling people, I know better. I know better. I know better. I know better. I have a certificate in being a welder. That means you know better. That means you understand that you are comprehensive. When you say, I am a carpenter, I am this, I am that, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm this, I'm that. When you tell people that literally you have some composition of control to get a job, to be a fundamental part of society, you're telling people you know better. You're saying that you understand the rules of engagement. And the problem is that other men, listen, man, we got to start calling out these guys, man. We got to start actually bringing the coordinates to the guys that listen, man. Like, listen, bro, quit trying to make it seem like it's only thugs, goddamn drug dealers, the lower degenerates that are doing this, man. Just say it is for what it is, man. Listen, bro, we have a big slew of domestic violence going on amongst the blue collar workforce, amongst the white collar workforce. Why do we pretend that these guys are not unhinged? Why do we pretend like these guys do not do the same thing that Pookie and Ray Ray and Junebug can do? Y'all think they're incapable of murder, rape, beating women? Y'all think they're incapable of doing atrocities? This man has joined the department. This man has received more than 60 departmental honorable mentions as well as tactical awards for excellence. He is a father of 3 children, including one with Wolford. So, bro, literally, you're a father of multiple children. You're a father of multiple children, bro. And because your baby mama called you out, the mother of your child called you out, you saw it as, hey, how dare she? You have people say, I will solve the puzzle quickly. You maybe use affirmative action rather than best qualified to hire police is not such a great idea after all. What a waste of life. By not being able to control a temper, this man could have had a good life, had accomplished many admirable things, but squandered his achievements by his lax morals. Hot headedness, however, his comments don't come close to the lives he has ruined. So true. He has hurt. How many baby mamas have been created by traveling professional athletes throughout this nation, codded special treatment throughout their lives, never learning responsibility, self control? That's a very fair statement. God dang. Somebody put this thing 2 days ago. Genetics. Hundreds of thousands of years of evolution in the harsh African environment for which favored violence, sexual aggression, and criminality. Even population evolved to survive in the native environment, just like the Irishmen wouldn't fare too well in surgery. Blacks don't do well outside of Africa. It's not the upbringing, lack of government propaganda, bad schools. It's genetic. God dang, who is this person, boy? This is person. Mind you, they had 10 thumbs ups. Ooh, God, who these people? Boy, I swear, man. Like Fox News is a lot brutal than. All right, so they got a lot to say. That is pretty brutal. Uh, no, we can't call them educated pookies. We can't. You see, it would be easy to call it an educated pookie, Iman. Just say he was an educated man. Just say it was a man that knew better, could have did better, but just chose not to. Knew better, could have did better, just chose not to. But the fact that we don't want to call out or say that, hey, bro, we have educated men that do these things. Why y'all don't want to envision them that they can do it? Y'all don't want to acknowledge that they're doing it. You don't want to take up that sometimes that they've been coddled, that they had somebody running the gauntlet saying that, hey, not my baby, not my son. They wouldn't do that. I get it. The women. It's easy to get. It's easy to get at the women. Y'all gonna come in here. Make sure y'all like my video. Y'all gonna at least come in here and watch. At least like my video. Let me see what else I got. Now the last one. Now we already know about Ray J. But I always hear a lot of educated men. I always hear a lot of educated men who move up the social ladder, and they feel that, hey, because I'm in a different social pool. I'm not the same person. Let me go ahead. I'm going to play this because see, yeah, we're not gonna gloss over that these are educated black men. We're not gonna gloss over. You see that at the end of the day, these are educated black men, not dumb.
Welcome to WJC News. Warning signs. Well, on Facebook Live, admits killing his former girlfriend in Baltimore and then targeting his ex-wife in Howard County. Hello, everybody. I'm Denise Cope. Welcome to WJC News at 6, and we also welcome those who are streaming.
Fair use.
The suspect detailed his chilling plot during a live stream just seconds before police say he killed his ex-wife and himself. So for years, the ex-wife had filed protective orders saying she was terrified he would kill her. WJC investigator Mike Hogan, this live is out of Baltimore with new insights. Right, Mike?
Now I want you to understand that they said for years this woman told the police, yo, this guy is going to kill me. This man is crazy. This is not me bashing black men, but literally, let's stop pretending that a lot of these educated men are in their right goddamn mind. Let's stop pretending that, can we? We already done seen it on social media. I watch y'all on social media, and I know some of y'all lost y'all freaking mind. But y'all don't call out that, and I mean, y'all gonna say to me? What honestly can y'all say to me? But the proof is in the pudding. Now, white women know, definitely. Asian women know. How did y'all turn up on the black women and the black women had nothing to do with this? This is Mei Ling and Karen. They the ones that called y'all out. Not Tanya, not Keisha. This is Mei Ling. Jarquarius, you know, it's crazy because it be the goddamn the black woman didn't report you. These women have been reporting Ray J and literally said, "Hey, this guy's gonna kill me. Gonna kill me." You know, it's crazy because a lot of times these guys do get called out and they still get away with. They still get the kill off. It's amazing.
Denise, that Facebook Live video is disturbing to watch. Now, we are at the first crime scene. Police say the suspect's children were with him at the second crime scene, but did not see their mother get murdered.
Felt like a dream. I never thought I would be that guy.
By the time Jay Black streamed on Facebook Live outside his ex-wife Wendy Black's apartment in Columbia, police say he already killed his ex-girlfriend, Tara LeBang, in South Baltimore. He said in the video LeBang was pregnant at the time.
Now, let's look at it. This is a whole educated, that is not a black woman. I don't know. Let me go make sure I get it correct. That's a black woman. That's not a black woman. That's a black men in this space. I know some of y'all are remedial. This is a black woman. White woman. Black woman. Black woman. Black man. Black man. Black woman. Asian woman. Okay. Now that we got that out the way, let's continue on. Oh, wow. She was pregnant, too.
Holidays, man. I don't have no family, not anywhere. I just did something crazy.
Follows her inside. The video cuts off. Police say after he killed her, he killed himself. WJZ's court records and protective orders Wendy Black had filed against him. The most recent last year, she wrote, "He threatened to kill me with a gun. He has pushed, shoved, threatened, and bit me in the past."
God dang, this man has. Let me see if I can read some of the stuff. He proceeds to remove property that belonged to our children, which he has not returned on Friday, September 7th. He took our children without communicating beforehand and did not return them to me. See, now, listen, bro. Listen, man, y'all can't just be taking kids, bro. We had this crazy white racist person on our panel telling us that he wanted to just take his kids without the mother. Listen, bro, you cannot take it from the custodial guardian's premise without their knowledge, dude. That is kidnapping. I don't know. Listen, man, I don't know what school or what goddamn area of tap water. Maybe y'all been drinking that doggone lead water. Listen, brothers, I get you want to see your kid, but you just can't just show up at any old hour of the day, night, god dang 9. Some of y'all dudes be calling at damn 9 to 10 o'clock at night to say, "Let me talk to the baby." It'd be like, Gene, what BMT? Let me talk to my baby girl. Your baby is still in daycare, and your baby is in bed. Girl, stop lying. Girl, put my baby on the phone. Just say you trying to fuck her, bro. Just say you trying to sleep with her. You know your baby's in daycare. You know your baby can't even hold down solid foods. What the hell is your child going to say to you at 10 o'clock at night? At 11 o'clock at night? What conversation does a child can have with a parent almost at 9 and 8 o'clock when they're getting ready for bed? This is why I know some of y'all are out of touch with reality. Let me talk to my baby. What's the baby gonna say to you? Let me FaceTime my baby. The baby don't even know how to. The baby would rather watch a flashlight. The baby would rather watch and sniff on poop before he even knows who's talking on FaceTime. This be these goofy dudes that be saying this weird shit, bro. Asked on September 8th, he removed my cell phone from my jacket pocket. He has pushed, shoved, threatened, and bitten me in the past. I'm afraid of him and his anger and do not want him to know, do not want to know where I live. So in other words, she didn't want him to come where she lived. He has access to weapons, guns, and he has been known to abuse drugs and alcohol. God dang. Yo, bro. This man had so many demons, bro. I know y'all gonna not want to count this guy on the ranks of the numbers, but yeah. It's not like he didn't have a good job. See, we have a thing where we can't imagine an educated brother, an attorney, a goddamn consultant, or anybody. You know, if they have on a suit, they have a formal education, they have a certificate. Black people have a hard time even imagining a pastor having down low orgies and doing all kinds. It can't be that guy. It has to be that guy. It can't be that. It's that. Like, my God, dude. No wonder how they tricked you on that damn boat. Because it's like we believe in things that literally is right there in front of you. We can't see it. He has also threatened to beat the kids or shake the baby. He has been abusive to our small dog. God damn, even the dog sometimes have made suicidal. Oh man, yeah. This one was ready to go. He was already ready to go. So y'all saying that, oh man, black men are tired and they're at their wits end. Nah, this guy been done checked out long time ago. This guy was not no victim, y'all. This guy was not a victim. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop the narrative that every fucking black man that gets on y'all panels or y'all channels, excuse my language, that gets around y'all, stop making it seem like every dude is a victim, man. It's called predatory analysis, man. They know how to find goddamn cognitive people that will want to listen so that way they can get them on board to manipulate. I don't know why, but you know, I get that this space is at its fecal matter low. So anybody that just says child support, women, it doesn't matter. This guy could probably have shot, stab, or it's oh wait, I forgot. There are men in this space that have already done it, and y'all have literally given them the pass to keep doing what they do and literally have praised them as gods. Continue. Continue. Continue.
Afraid of him and his anger and do not want him to know where I live. He has access to weapons. In that protective order, she also claims he was suicidal. In another order, she claims he told her, I'm coming for you.
Wow.
He wrote, I am terrified because I do not know what he's capable of. I do not feel that I am safe. I feel that my life is in danger. The protective orders were denied.
It's just extremely sad to hear about what happened there.
Lou fence just a few doors down from the first homicide.
These kinds of horrific things being live streamed, and
so I want you to understand this is not in the black community. This is outside of the black community. So y'all can't be saying, "Oh man, like you know, the black community, what are we gonna change?" No, dude. Listen, some of y'all educated brothers have been done divested out of the community. Y'all have gone off asunder towards the Golden Sun, whatever country or town or down the street y'all have gone, and y'all are still doing the same fuck shit. So we now know you can take the nigga out of the hood. You can take the black man out of the hood, just like you say, you take the hoe out of the streets. But you can't take that mentality of dysfunction out of that individual. It's still there. And this is why I tell black men, y'all need to go to therapy. Oh, wait. Y'all had a whole stupid debate that black men don't need therapy. Shout out to D. Durrell. Because when I was telling y'all that y'all need to go to therapy, y'all ran to goddamn Kevin Samuels, a man that literally is still trying to find himself. But y'all ran to him because he had no problem going after black women for y'all. But he dresses up like a woman at times. Let's continue.
Just adds another layer of horror to the way these things have happened.
Both victims and suspect were nurses. Wendy Black worked at Howard County General, according to friends, and Darla Bang worked at Ascension St. Agnes. A hospital spokesman wrote, "We are shocked and saddened by this news, and our thoughts and prayers are with their family." And St. Agnes says they are providing grief counseling to employees. Police have not said how the suspect obtained the weapon used in these killings. Reporting live in South Baltimore, Mike Calvin, WJZ.
All right, y'all. So we are saying that. Listen, bro. Like, so first of all, this guy had quality access to not no broke broads. Um, like, yeah, I know, man. Um, I can't with my Mike Zaddy. Listen, bro. Hey, bro. I don't know what's going on, but hey, man, hey, bro. It's bad out here, man. It's bad out here, man. You see what I'm saying? It's bad. Like, I don't know, man. This brother had access to good quality women. No, I think no. Jail, no. And when you're in jail, you can get therapy. Information man is a therapist at a prison, so I know they got therapy. They have a called a pastor. The pastor comes to you and talks to you, and the pastor actually, they do they can count that as therapy. They actually have group sessions where y'all go there and y'all can do reflective counseling for y'all mind state. And the problem, the thing about it is, a lot of people don't want to do the collective mental work. Shout out to C Boogie on saying that, but some men don't want to do the collective work and actually review their issues, man. Jay, what are you doing in the chat? Hmm? What are you doing? We got a big issue, y'all. I know it's easy to say that it's just the lower degenerate that are doing these things, but it's not, man. You just read the whole report from a nurse that literally was saying that my kid's father is beating. You can't force someone into therapy. I mean, maybe in jail you can. Well, I mean, you don't have to. You don't. You can go there in jail, but I mean, like, they want to sit through it. I mean, to be fair, like I'm just saying, man, he. Yeah. I wonder why the protective orders were denied. I think that's like again. This is something I want to say, Cicero. Um, Sometimes people have a hard time believing that certain people with access or certain things going on that those kind of things are happening. They'll say, "Well, why did you stay? Why are you still there? Are you going to press charges? And if you don't press charges, like, and you'll say, I'm not going to press charges. I'm not going to press charges. Like, you keep saying that 2 and 3 times, and after a while, guess what? Um, when you say that you're not going to press charges, what happens is, um, let's see, I got at least 30 minutes. When you're saying you're not going to press charges, enough time, after a while, the police kind of like listen, like police, like the system is not really a good one. Uh, you can keep when you keep denying that you're going to press charges, and this does happen more than it. This does happen a lot frequent. Like the police will show up, say, "Would you like to have this person removed?" And people will say, "No, I just want them to stop." Well, we can. We remove them, or the person will let them back in. After a while, by the time you finally want that protection, they're gonna be like, no, because you're not gonna really value the protection that we already had set up for you. You're not gonna really value like when you were ready to stop, you didn't want to stop. You kept allowing it to go on. So guess what? And that happens a lot. I know. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to people. Whereas to they're not mentally ready the first 3 or 4 times. So after a while, when people say, you know what, I don't care, but she's just gonna stay with him. She don't care. So after a while, the caring or protective piece starts to wear away because nobody cares to try to step in. And then after a while, then the person, when they say, I do need help, it's too late. You cried wolf so many times. Now nobody wants to step in. And that's when somebody dies or gets beat. But that's the same reason guys hesitate to stop someone uh, from beating their girlfriend. Yeah, because once you've seen it happen, so people get acclimated to the violence. Can y'all believe that people get acclimated to violence? For a time, I was in a abusive relationship. I was acclimated to the violence, so I never thought to talk really or care about it. But I was like, well, this is just what we do. Throwing dishes, kids crying and screaming, us fighting all over and stuff. It's hell. It's hell. And I know some people say, well, that's just how people love each other. Y'all ever been told that? That's how people love each other? That somehow this is like a soul food where, the guy punches his baby mama's girlfriend or wife, whatever the hell it was. And literally, the moral story was, well, they got to just see through it with Jesus and get through it and work it out and all that crazy shit. And you'd be like, what? Wait, hold up, bro. He just knocked her the fuck out. But somehow that's like y'all understand. Certain people are acclimated. towards violence. Then after a while, the police they get a temperance regime. Mind you, they're still human. Mind you, they after a while they're like, you know what? It's another call. We're getting called to Jay's house again. What's going on, Jay? And then they'll be like, well, he's doing it again. And they know y'all, but they've been called there enough. After a while, they're like, when you do ask for protection, they're gonna be like, why? She's just gonna bail him out. She's just gonna defend him. But she might actually be for real this time. But she's like, yo, I'm tired. And this is why it's hard to take it serious. Like, there's no way a male nurse, would hurt his girlfriend or his wife that's a veterinarian. Why? Why can't you believe that? Because he has an education, if he has paperwork behind him. These are some, no offense, but some of the best killers in American society. They're not lower based people. They're like people with
Some of the
high
most
I.
notorious serial killers were like well off people, and I mean I'm
Right.
going across races. I'm not talking about just
Yeah,
black
yeah,
people,
yeah.
but
That's what
just
I'm
in
saying. That's
general.
why I said what I said. Like y'all think like the Pookies are like the most dangerous people. They're really not. It's actually the people that actually can walk the streets looking like you and me, sit at Starbucks, eat a coffee, have a whole family, and god damn it, at 5 o'clock, yo, bro, they want to kill streak. By 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 9 o'clock, they're back at home watching Dexter.
Not Dexter,
Ah,
damn.
yeah, exactly. Dexter, I hate that show.
Like I'm y'all listen. I'm
And you
trying to
see
tell
how like nondescript well, I didn't finish watching the old episodes of Dexter. I watched the new episodes of Dexter. And you see how he just I watch you see how he just like blended in this small town, and he's like such a nice guy, and he's just normal. And
That's how it is.
that's how
yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
I showed y'all when I showed
I want to
y'all.
say a good show, and of course it is fictional, but it did have some points. Was definitely and I know you touched upon it yesterday. Was Made. I think you called it Housekeeper or something, but it was called Made. Um,
Mm.
Mhm. No, so and I know y'all been listening to the stream. Thank y'all for coming through. Shout out to Jay and shout out to Mike. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to have this conversation about educated
Hello,
black. Yeah, yeah,
can you
I
hear
can hear you
me?
now. Now I can hear you. Hello?
Hello.
I don't know what's going on with Jay.
She's her microphone's probably cutting out or
Serial
something.
killer.
Okay.
Jay, is somebody hitting you, beating on you, or threatening you? Yep.
Oh shit.
What
Yep.
we doing?
There she goes.
We're good.
No, no, but I just wanted to say something real quick about some of this stuff because that's what I've been actually trying to tell people all along. You know, we get all of these little, and I know now I really kind of see what you kind of have been saying for probably years when you always say I need to get away from this space sometimes. Now I understand the damn deepness, the darkness, because it's just like no matter what happens, it doesn't wake people up to actually start trying to be honest
Right.
because they just keep on with the same old just deadly talking points. Like like you said, like you think Pookie, so-called Pookie and Ray Ray, just because you had a single mother, or just because all these things are stupid. People are crazy out here because of issues that maybe they had in their life, and people got to work on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Murder
Now I want to
suicides.
now I want to ask
Hmm.
I want to ask y'all this, and this is something that's very interesting, Mike and Jay. Do y'all think that in black society we have a hard time accepting that the 9 to 5 man, can be just as dangerous, or if not more volatile, than just Pookie? Do we have a hard time accepting that?
Mm, probably.
Because
Yeah.
see, it's hard. But let me show you where I'm going with this. Nobody wants to accept the pastor impregnating the members of the church and doing all kinds of scandals with the money. Nobody wants to accept that the mechanic is taking advantage of a
Yeah.
woman
Yep.
and literally putting her in a sexual compromising position to get what he needs. No, I get no. I get what you're saying, Nata Jean. Yeah, Pookie does work also. But I'm saying
Oh,
that
no one's denying that Pookie doesn't do
right.
doesn't work, but I think the narrative in these spaces, and hopefully my phone will stop ringing today. Like, oh my god,
Mhm.
I've done entirely too much work before noon, and
Sugar
I don't
Bee's
like it.
calling you. Sugar
No,
Bee's
it's
calling.
not. It's work. I don't even take calls like this. I've gotten so many freaking phone calls today. But anyway,
They're like, that's not for you. You work for the other person. They have you talking to the black man.
is is that is that there's been so much talk in these spaces about the proverbial Pookies, and that the Pookies do all the wrong, and that the Pookies are the ones out here having multiple baby mamas and all this stuff. But here we are hearing that a quote unquote, what was the first guy, a nurse that worked at the hospital or something, and the other guy was a cop,
Mhm.
which I mean, cops are notorious for being women beaters. But anyway, I mean, people that somewhere along the lines had to pass a background check to get a job.
Right.
And
Training.
right, and they have now, they're the ones with multiple baby mamas, and now they're upset because they can't get their way, and they're killing people now. I mean, that's the thing. It's just that the conversations in these spaces always lean towards, the quote unquote proverbial gangsters and shit like that.
Do you
See,
think that?
and you
Do
know
you
what?
think?
That reminds me of what the nurse guy said. He said, "I never thought I would be that guy." You see what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
now he's looking at his actions like, "Damn, I am Pookie." So might as well go full Pookie.
Because
He
that's
went
what I'm
full.
saying. The Pookie that they try to portray as Pookie ain't really Pookie. Those aren't the
Right.
ones that are the reason. And I know we've talked about on this show ad nauseum. The reason Pookie keeps getting women, because those proverbial Pookie, and I hate that term Pookie. I'm just using it for the sake of this conversation. The reason those are the ones that keep getting women, because they're actually decent men behind closed doors.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now I got a question.
Yeah.
Now let me ask the question. And do you think we've been playing a dangerous mental narrative
Hmm.
of what could be dangerous? Because
Absolutely.
because mind you, and when I show, I mean, like, because honestly, when you hear, um, when you look at, not mind you, he's not a bad looking fella. He's a well decorated man. He has um, major certificates and mentions under him. But people will find it hard that this man would have issues to the
Mm.
point where he would have to go kill this woman. Granted, as far
I
as I
have a
reported,
question,
yeah,
Joe.
yeah, what's
Being
up?
that he was in the military, he was deployed out to Afghanistan too, and Iraq. Is
Hmm.
it plausible? I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna play the role right now. Is it plausible that him as a veteran? I'm not even putting him being a cop into it, but him as a veteran. You know how now the new thing now with football players who kill people and beat people up, now that CTE
Traumatic
is
brain injury.
CTE is the thing. Is it possible that he had some deep rooted mental issue? Like, let's just say for the sake of argument, if he never went to the military, he never would have killed this chick, kind of thing is what I'm saying.
Yes, I have a traumatic brain injury, and my cognitive senses sometimes I have to draw myself back in. I easily get bothered. That's why I don't mind putting
Mm.
myself on the altar. Okay, I knew, like, when first having a baby, like being around a baby. Uh, this
Wait
is
until
why
they
a
become
lot,
teenagers. They're gonna test you. They're gonna test your
right? And
soul.
see, and see, and now here's the thing about it. A lot of men in the service, depending on the severity of their injuries, they don't stay in a family long because
Mm-mm.
of their mentality. Y'all can go look at the
That's a
paperwork.
fact. I mean, I know too. I know multiple people too. That's true on.
They don't stay in the family too long because it's it's I hear a lot of people talk about family, but I don't think people understand the rules of engagement of coming and rearing and raising and building a family. And literally, if you're not mentally sound by yourself, bruh, you're entering a whole ball game. Mind you, she wasn't no broke woman. She wasn't no battered and distraught woman. She kept herself up nicely. She
Yep.
had a whole job. She had a nice apartment place. So, granted, all thing she did was call
Yeah,
him
that's
out. Say, hey,
tragic.
all thing she did, mind you, that's not no cheap apartment that she's staying in. So y'all can miss me with, oh, that's some Section 8. No, and he
How
was
do
a
people
nice.
know what Section 8 look like? They don't know.
You know what?
The
They're just saying it.
But you know the thing about it is the narrative, the premise will naturally be lower destituted woman, and this guy would have to be some drug dealer, um, um, Pookie, whatever. But no, why not? Can't y'all just say that? Hey, man, that literally this was a guy that literally felt like, yo, how dare she come at me and check me about my sexual conquest or my, my fuck shit. And guess what? Bang. Granted, there was already according to relatives, Wilfred had already put out um stuff about him doing things to her. So
Hmm.
let me make sure I got this. A lot of y'all like running with the child support thing. The couple had prior. This is the cop. The couple had prior documented domestic disputes. Remember how? So I get when Sincere when she brought up about, well, what about the denial?
Now, Joe, once
Well,
you finish, I want to ask you a question. Go ahead.
right. So when understanding, first of all, I'm gonna tell you right now, cops have the biggest domestic violences. These those dudes be getting into it a lot with their spouses, but they have the blue shield where they sweep things under the rug. A lot of men with influential positions can easily get things swept under the rug like it's nothing, and then
and that's
after a
why
while,
women don't necessarily leave right away because they know that they probably won't be believed because of who that person
it kind
is
of
or
puts
what have you.
it kind of puts them more in a predicament of danger because, oh,
Hmm.
words you told on me, you tried to
Right.
check me, so
You betrayed
wait
me.
till right, so wait till we get home. I'm gonna deal with you.
See?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
deal with you. And so now
No,
she's
no.
like, should have kept my mouth shut, but I listened to June. Now I'm in more trouble.
Yep. Now
She go,
I listen to somebody online telling me to get rid of him, and now look, I'm about to get killed. No, but the thing is though, Joe, us as fathers. Now, how old is your oldest girl?
my oldest girl, she would actually be in the service right now, so she would actually be
Oh, okay.
18.
Well, the one. So, but I know you have some smaller ones. You got some
Biological ones
smaller
might
ones.
not. Oh, my
Okay.
small ones, they
Right.
like 7 years old around. They playing. They
Right.
not.
Right. So,
They play digital.
so the thing
Um,
is, as they start attracting these little boys, doesn't that now you see how when these dads be all overprotective and nobody want to listen to daddy, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when they start to date, what do you think about that? Because see, a lot of times, the dad is supposed to be the one to do the battle. The girl's she's supposed to come home to daddy,
From
and
the
if the cop
outside
want to kill,
looking in, he's a stand-up guy. So that your argument is bunk because
no, no,
from the
no,
outside looking in, he's a
I'm not
stand-up
finished.
guy. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not finished. I'm talking about a scenario in general. It's not talking about that particular guy. But what I'm saying is generally when the daddy is helping, daughter look at over guys, she's supposed to, check guys out. What do you think about this guy, that guy, whatever. When the trouble happens, she's supposed to come home to dad.
right.
A lot of
And the
people
thing
feel
is,
that they can work it out amongst themselves, though. She's not.
No.
I
well,
mean, she probably could have, or should have, or would have. But I mean, you're kind of zoning in the lane of victim blaming here. She
Now,
probably should have
Huh?
said something to. I say you're kind of borderline victim blaming here.
let me
So
say,
No,
let me
no,
say this.
no. There's
you
No,
nothing
are,
to
you
blame
are.
let
for
me
her.
You're
say this.
basically saying so. Basically, after the first
I
time
don't
it
know why
happened,
you
why
wanted to
didn't she
argue with me
say?
for. There was no argument there.
I'm
I
not
was
arguing
not
with you.
creating.
I'm just
Yeah, I
stating a
don't.
fact.
I was not creating an argument or anything. That
But
this
what I'm
is.
saying to
I'm.
you is you're low key victim blaming. That's what I'm
No, I'm
saying to
not.
you.
I'm not
Okay.
victim blaming.
Okay.
She did nothing wrong. There is no blame on this woman at all. Period. None. The blame is on this particular guy. I'm talking about what can we do to try to reduce some of that. Now, somebody could have still end up being dead because we see that families end up killing people, killing guys because they tried to attack the daughter and stuff like that too. But what I'm saying is, it's like what do people do? Because like you said, it's not necessarily you can't just look at Pookie and Rayway situations because everybody's crazy. But a lot of times when you see those signs of craziness, then it's like, okay, especially who this person is, it's like, it's basically the entire family has to be ready to go to war, basically. Because that's
She
how
probably
I
didn't tell.
think that's
That's what
how
I'm
it's been.
saying. She probably didn't tell her father or her family. A lot of women don't because they feel like they can fix it themselves. That's what I said.
I think
Okay.
one of the things
You,
about it
I
is,
don't.
and
I can tell you this to this day. My father doesn't know that I was in an abusive relationship. I didn't tell him.
Mm,
like I would say this, and I would say this. One, daddy's girls, believe it or not, um, our daughters are not going to tell us everything. Our daughters are never going to tell us everything. They may say they do, but believe it or not, a woman
When
is
you
going to
become
keep.
an adult, you don't. You don't. You just don't.
No, I mean, but even sometimes that, like, for instance, some of the women in our family have been sexually abused, and the fathers still to this day do
mm,
not know it. And if they did know, sometimes the girls feel, if I tell my father, one, I'm going to lose him because one, he's going to go to jail, or two, it's literally because the father's going to feel like he failed. A parent feels like
mm,
they, when something happens to our child,
right.
there's a sense of we failed. that that we have to acknowledge that us three, we can't be everywhere for our daughter. We can't. It's impossible. Like, there at some point we gotta understand it's cognitive free will. They're going to do what they do. Only thing we can hopefully think that in our mind that, yo, we led and trained them in the proper guidance that they will follow direction of what we train them. But then again, also, they're like, you gotta still remember, your child is still your seed. So the same
Hmm.
stuff that you wandered into or got into sometimes, they're probably going to be attracted by nature or by certain traits to that same thing. Now, what happens about that, as a father, yes, we can help out, try to guide. Like, you could be a bad dad, but your daughter may not want nothing to do with a guy like you, but more so of the opposite guy. Or you could be a good guy and your daughter might want that kind of bad boy because literally it's the curiosity of the appeal of, I like this. Well, but then again, I don't think my dad would approve. The most we can do is literally try to be 100%, what's the good word? I would say open with our child.
Mm,
I try to say like we can be there in the mix. Now, again, I know Mike, me, you have talked about stuff with our children. Some of our kids are hard headed. They have to feel. I
right.
don't think one of the things I definitely do know, it takes a lot. Um, I know one person by name. She told us for 3 years straight, her man used to rape her.
Mm,
Now, to the rest of us, granted, this
that
man has already
sounds
moved.
interesting.
This man has already moved on. We're like, one of the men said, "Well, how did he do that to you? That's your man. You're his woman. How can you deny him something that's his? Hush, Jay. But literally, that was something that was said.
Oh, that's the
Granted,
mindset a lot of these dudes have.
granted. Now this wasn't no any old brother, Mike. This was an
Mm.
educated man with a bachelor's and other educated
Sure.
men literally talking to her when she had a reveal that literally, what I'm saying, that hey, I have been for 3 years sexually assaulted.
Mm.
And they said, well, why didn't you just get up and leave? So after a while, she said, what's the point? Y'all would have just sent me back.
Mm.
Y'all would have just sent me
Yeah.
back. Oh, y'all don't
Yeah.
people don't believe that some women get sent back to that house, back
Hmm.
to that
Mm.
lifestyle. So she was like, I
Especially if
see.
he's the main breadwinner or something like that. You
Correct.
know.
She was a she had her job. Her job couldn't compete with his job, and literally they weren't going to take her, a woman with 3 kids. So she was like, I was stuck.
Mm.
I was stuck.
Mm.
There could be a man in your life. That doesn't mean you have protection. There could be a man in your life. Sometimes, and this is the thing why now women are now acquiescing to actually try to build up their own type of system where they don't have to depend on that of the whims of a man. Granted, it's said right here. Let me see if I can pull it up. This is very interesting, and catch this right here. Let's see. Let's see. This caught me off guard. I thought my mind thought of Jay so quickly when she said that
What?
Tyler joined Fred, a Warford who was a child welfare specialist, said that she had ended her relationship with Tyler in March and had a co-parenting relationship with him. What is the quote?
What?
Whenever he actually decided to do for his child. So
Mm.
she could have put him, mind you, she works for the welfare department, but she normally
Oh,
did.
so you talking about the conversation we had yesterday when folks was trying to prove me wrong? Oh, that conversation.
Sometimes you gotta. What have I taught you, Jay? You
I
have
know.
to
Let them
let
talk. I
people
know. I
let
know.
them.
Folks wanted to
Now
argue
mind
the
you,
point with me. Well, I need
now
to know
mind you,
where the statistics are for this. There's no statistics. There's no study that's. I hate when people do that. Where are the statistics? Even if I gave you the statistics, you still wouldn't believe it anyway. So what difference does it make?
now
Mm.
granted, now this is in Chicago, Mike, and you and I have had realistic talk. We know a lot of black women that it wasn't them that put the man in the system. It was the system that put the man in the system.
Like I said, as I said yesterday.
Now, now, mind you, this is a welfare. I'm not sure if people know what a welfare specialist is.
Yeah,
Have you ever
I
been
know
they
some
know
people
what
that
to
work
do.
in the social services offices, right?
right? Like they know the system. They can access the system to get what they need. Now
Because
she
did
would.
he have other kids prior to her?
Yes, she did. Yes, he did. She only
So
had one. Yeah. Mhm.
okay, and he had a kid. So she probably already knew because by the time if you're the second or the third baby mama, you're not getting that much. So
Mm.
probably by the time the second, she probably already knew. Oh, he already got this other child support order. He already paying a lot, so I'm probably not gonna hardly get anything. So I'm not even gonna bother. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna go back to what
Mhm.
I was saying. I think
Go ahead.
we gotta start connecting with our families a little bit more like we used to. It seemed ghetto, but to me, if any, I don't
Why?
care
His
how much
mother is
money
good.
he
Just
got.
gonna
Hold
say
on.
his mother will
Ho-
probably just say that. Oh, he's such a nice boy. I don't know. That's what happens. A lot of their mothers don't think they're gonna do anything wrong. So
Not
even if
yeah,
you had a meeting between the families, it wouldn't matter.
nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. So I'm not saying that it's perfect. Because I remember a story where a minister, some minister, he introduced his daughter to a slime ball who killed her. But the thing is, so I mean, nothing's perfect. But what I'm saying is, I would tell my if a man already got two baby mamas, uh, I'll just But the thing is, I'm gonna still leave the door open for her because the thing is, my thing is like this. I don't know. The police ain't because, like I said, they denied this girl's protective order.
Because he's the
So
What's the
police.
I know. Okay, so the police did this. Where else she gonna go? That's all I'm saying. Like we gotta start opening up to some of these family Pookies and Ray Rays people.
okay?
Somebody that's gonna help
No, no,
to
no.
try
You're
to
right.
back you up. That's all I'm saying. We gotta understand. Like it's time to stop all this. What it should be sometimes, and people have been protected by their family for longer than they've been protected by the police. Cousin,
Right.
the whatever or whoever comes up and kills the dude. So or beat his ass or something. It's time to what I mean? It's like when are we gonna realize like all this child protective order, court cases and trying to get this custody, this and all of these different, procedures and all of that stuff. Bottom line is you're gonna need some muscle. I mean, at some point in time, somebody gotta back you up that trust you. So that's all I'm saying. We just got to start opening that possibility up, and we just got to have that. We got to keep our connection with our families. Somebody,
I
something.
think no, no, that's true. That's why I try to. Some people, just like we say, the black boy does not have protection. The black woman knows she's not protected. She knows she's not. She like literally, and I know we like to pretend and believe that hey, um, that literally, um, we like to pretend and believe that um, that the woman, of course, she's protected by the system. It varies. It varies.
Hmm.
Like if the first system you're going to deal with, it's the system among your own people. How many kids were born out of products of sexual assault? And
Mm.
literally, what was that system? How many people were beat, killed, and literally because somebody stepped out of line or didn't burnt the eggs. I
You
told
said
y'all.
burnt eggs.
No, literally, I remember a man, a story of a man. Um, actually, no. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman that emailed us and literally used to come to our show. Remember, Jay? And what happened was the man, her baby father, beat her so fat bad,
Mm.
um, busted her ribs, her face. She had just enough energy to take her child and throw her child through the window to go run to a relative's house while he still
Okay.
beat on her and left her in that trailer. And the men in the space asked, "What did she do?"
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. I got asked that. What did I do? I must have
It,
said something. My mouth must have got me in trouble. No, he in my case, he would and that's the thing. So again, when people say, "Oh, you go in front you should know better." No, because that's not how he presented himself. He presented himself as a nice guy. He had a decent job and this, that, and the third. But he liked to drink and beat on motherfuckers. And of course, I found
Mm.
out after the fact, way after the fact, and going back to the original point about, oh, I always wondered why his first baby mother never let him see his daughter, even though she lived in another state. Like she refused to let him see the daughter, this, that, and the third. And he always said, oh, she won't let me see my kid. Come to find out, I found out years later that he broke the woman's jaw.
Mm.
now, Jay, did
That's
he
why
have?
he won't let it. But I'm just saying, my point is, it like I always said, there's always a backstory. There's always the other side of the story. So,
Now,
but I'm
Jay,
saying he
did
didn't
he have a
present
job?
himself as such, huh?
Did he have a job?
Yeah. When I met him,
Yes, he had
yeah.
a, and it wasn't like no little. I sit on the corner and sell Lucy's and
No.
stuff. He had a legit job.
Yes,
But
he had a
see,
job.
So, but see, no. Here's the thing about it. Like,
He paid for he paid for dates and everything. Yeah.
Oh shit. Shit.
and
What
see that's
what's the problem? That's what,
like, and see, no. And what's going on, Sarah? What I love when she asked some really good questions. Like, the thing about it is, people sell. It's like that movie. It's like that
People didn't
Tyler Perry.
believe me when I told him the things he used to do. That's why I used to try to start to record it. But then what
They're
he
like, because see, here's the thing about it. Mike, as a young man, he probably sees what Trucker BMT does to Mama,
hmm
and then when we come around, they're like, "Girl, you better not mess that up, Jay." Like, Trucker BMT, he puts food on the table. He takes care of your son. He does X, Y, and Z. So everybody else sees the dream. You being taken care of by a man, but nobody sees the mental bereavement, the shut the f up, me putting the finger in your face, and or literally sometimes I might pull your hair. Nobody sees that. And so after a while, when Mike starts getting old enough and he starts getting that strength, that's that day that that boy might actually start to fight back.
hmm
He's gonna be like, "You ain't gonna keep hitting my mama." And see, we don't like to hear those narratives of them videos. I know, and a lot of more of those videos are showing up on Facebook and Instagram where y'all starting to see them boys are fighting their fathers.
Right.
They're
I'll tell
not
you a
doing
quick story.
it.
I'll
Go
tell
ahead.
you a quick story. Now, the thing is, it's like this. My aunt, I mean, she had a couple guys, different ones. Uh, the last pretty much step dad that my cousins and stuff had, I used to always be over their house. This was, I mean, look, you could already tell this dude wasn't about shit. But he was so weak, I guess I guess she felt like he was harmless. So she brought him around. They were going, together for a while. When they had an argument or whatever, he was drunk. He wanted to fight her. So he ends up, she used to always cuss him out. So they used to be drinking, playing spades, and she'd cuss him out, whatever. But this time he decides to fight her with everybody in the house. So of course he wants to hit her. That was like the straw that, I mean, that was just like the little lightning match. Everybody just descended on him. So I come, they were literally about to kill this man, because everybody was pretty much waiting to beat him. So I try to save him. And like, okay, let's just put him out. Let's don't kill him because we don't want nobody to go to jail. So I pick him up and I'm like, okay, let's go. So I guess he drunk. He wanted to fight me, and I just let him have it. But what I'm saying is, it's like my thing is, it's so much dysfunction out here that I really, when I look at solution, when I'm thinking solution, I'm thinking like, I just don't understand. I don't see no other option. There's no other options that people really have because you can do everything right, like we see with these two cases here. I mean, there's no signs in any of these cases. The only sign that I can see is if somebody wants to isolate you from your family.
That's what
If you
abusers do.
that's the first sign. I don't care how much money he got, how good. But let's not. I don't. He not talking to the dad because I mean, I know
But
nothing's
it's
perfect.
not drawn
Nothing's
out as
perfect.
I it's not drawn out
Yeah,
as isolation. That's the thing. It's not
yeah,
like somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to isolate you from your family." Like it's very subtle how it happens.
yeah.
They brainwash you. It's, "Oh, yeah, that person, you probably shouldn't hang out with them because they're this or they're that." It's a brainwashing. It's not
The
like
John B song.
what I who
The John B song. Don't listen to what people say. They don't
I
know about you and me. You ever heard that song?
perhaps no, probably I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a song. Yeah, it's like that's the main thing. It's like if you or sometimes people isolate themselves. They don't want to tell daddy because she's trying to protect dude or you know that happens. So I mean that's the only thing I can see because a lot of times some of this stuff gets pointed out early, but of course nobody's listening to the family members who raised and took care of you. And I've had this happen with my oldest. daughter, even though she's my stepdaughter, but it's like you can tell, but they don't want to listen to you in that moment. And then, of course, a couple years go past, and then they see what you were talking about, but then they want to hide that from you because you were right. And then until the abuse gets so bad, so that's the thing. That's the only solutions I can even imagine. Because as far as police and just keep putting people in child supports and all this kind of stuff, I mean, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I, you know, I mean, there's murder suicides happening worse and worse in this country.
No, it's
So
always happened. It's always happened. It's just that
yeah,
it's being reported now. You know, people
yeah,
always say, "Oh, well, it's getting so bad now. Oh, it's so bad." No, it's not. It's the same way it was. And actually, the crime rate was higher in the 70s and 80s. But again,
yeah,
it's being we're in a 24. I've been saying this forever. We are in a 24-hour news cycle. So the reason people think that things are getting so bad, oh, it's so bad, it's so terrible, it's not. It's the same. It's actually less than probably what it was before. But because we're in a 24-hour news cycle, you constantly have access to the news. You can go on your phone and you look at the story right away. You can go to a website, you can go to the news website, you can go to the newspaper website versus 15, hell, even 10, 15, 20 years ago, you had to wait until the next day, or you had to wait until the news came on at 6 o'clock or 5:30, whatever. You had to wait until the news came on. You had to wait until the newspaper came out the next day. Like you and then the newspaper only reported so much stuff. But again, because we're in a 24-hour news cycle, because they're always looking for stuff to report, they're constantly like throwing stories out there. They're constantly looking for news, and they constantly pull from other sources in other states and other areas. Why do you think Florida is known? People, oh, Florida is so bad because all this crazy stuff happens. Florida's a big state, yes. It's not that
hmm,
crazy stuff happens. It's just because the news media constantly pulls stories from Florida and make it a national news story.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I don't think anything crazier happens in Florida. If you obviously Florida has 9 million people, so obviously a lot of shit's gonna happen versus in a state that has 3 million people.
hmm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So of course it's gonna seem like Florida's this crazy place. I mean, it somewhat is, but you know, but
Look,
it is and it isn't. You know,
yeah. I
so
mean, the times I've been down to Florida, I mean, it was decent. The craziest place I ever heard about, pretty much, is probably the Midwest places like, in my opinion,
Ohio,
like yeah,
definitely
like
Ohio.
Ohio, Lima, and stuff like that, and even like Michigan.
And
But the
Ohio
thing
is
is,
like a small state, but I'm telling you, a lot of these, for some reason, specifically in this space, I've noticed a lot of these dudes that are in these spaces and that talked a lot. A lot of these dudes, go check their location. A lot of these dudes are from
mm,
Ohio. I'm telling you, a lot of these
yeah,
crazy
West
ass dudes are
Virginia and
from
stuff.
Ohio. I'm talking about black, and specifically in these black spaces. A lot of these dudes are from Ohio. I'm just saying they
Now
are.
that just remind me too. I ain't gonna say the channel, but it's a police officer that always be on. I guess the Manosphere. He 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 kind of, because of this story makes him look suspect to me, because the same
I
some of the
mean, but
stress
police
and
are like
stuff.
the highest abusers.
Yeah, because this dude, I'm like, some of the stuff, it's like the sheer rage you can hear in some of these guys' voice. I'm like, it's like when you lose control of your emotion that bad, that it's more than just mental issues. To me, it's like
Yeah.
a chemical imbalance. It's a
Well, it
chemical
is.
imbalance.
It is. I mean, just like with these
Are y'all
football
trying to
players, like
put
the
me in another
football player,
manosphere war? Are
the
y'all
fo-
trying to put me in
No,
the
another
no,
foot.
that's
manosphere
why I
No,
war?
no,
didn't
no, no.
mention the name.
The
I ain't mention
football,
no names.
the football player that threw his wife or girlfriend into the TV, his defense was, "Oh, she set me up." Like
Well, she,
she set
yeah,
you up. Like
well, she
everyone
did, but
saw the same
but
shit.
he was doing that. She couldn't set you up for something that you wasn't gonna do anyway.
And like I
You
said
know.
before, probably what happened, probably started putting cameras in the house. I can tell you what happened because, like I said, I lived a similar situation. What happened was because people don't believe you the first or second time around. What happened was she said, "Okay, I'm gonna start putting hidden cameras everywhere because I know he does. You know, he normally comes in the house or he does X, Y, and Z. So I'm gonna start putting cameras in certain locations and let's just see what happens. And that's what she did. So she put cameras in certain locations, and she, you know, he probably came home, was probably drunk or high or whatever, and whatever the case was, and you know, threw her into the TV. So I guess it technically was a setup, you know.
No, but she set it up, which is true, but that'll
It's a
stop the fact
setup, but
that
not in the way he's saying it's a
yeah,
setup.
yeah,
Well,
she
you
didn't
got
force you to put, she
yeah.
didn't run into your fist and all that dumb shit.
Well, you got. Here's the thing about it. The problem is this, and this is the really big issue. It's not you. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. And the thing
Mm,
about it is, some people. When I tell, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all. Some
see,
people know how to empathetically woo the crowd, woo the
Hmm.
room, so that way you saying something about them, other people can't picture that, but they're like they would never
Right,
be.
and that's what
So
I'm saying. If you met my abuser, like again, everyone, oh, he's so nice, he's so charismatic. Oh, this, that, and the third. I don't understand. He would do this and that, but there were some people that knew, and the reason they knew is because they were, like I said, his biggest issue was when he would drink. When he was sober, and I would say that all the time. I loved sober Aaron. Sober Aaron was great when he was sober. The issue is that
mm,
he wasn't sober very often.
mm.
You see where
right,
I'm
So
going
there
with
you
that?
go, right there.
Right.
There you
So,
go.
but again, that's stuff that presents itself later on. Again, folks don't just start, it's not like after the first date. It's like, hey, just to let you know, I'm going to get drunk and start beating your ass. Like,
What
like,
the?
and I
Yeah,
think that's a misconception that a lot of people have. Like, that's not how it works, and,
that's why I hate when they say the vet. That's why I don't like when people say the vetting process. But I'm like, dude, like if that's the case, they they can okay put it like this, they bet you for a job, but they don't know down the road you're going to be a shitty employee. Nobody
right.
knows that. But they bet you for the job and they put you through a whole interview process, but they don't know what you're going to do or how you're going to act 3 months down the road, 4 months, what you're going to go through, and you're going to start showing different effects like, hey man, like what happened, like we gave you the job, but you started turning different on us, like what happened, we went out on a limb. These things happen. So that happens for a job which they're getting paid for. You gotta understand, like that's why I said these manumios of people saying that educated black men
Yeah, yeah.
can't do this. No offense, but y'all can look at a lot of these things. A lot of these
It's
crimes are coming
stress
with
too.
right. So again, the talking points of the man getting having a bad day at work and taking that on the children and the women and everybody in the house all the way down to the dog. That's a real thing.
hmm not
That's
the
a
dog.
real
Damn,
thing.
the dog got to go too. Damn.
Well, the
Kicking
eight, well,
dogs.
Yeah, the dog got to get it. The cat got to get it.
Yep, that cat. Cause I've thrown a cat before. I have. I ain't gonna lie. I get mad and
so
pissed off. I'm like, punch
but
the
see that
wall.
that happens. And see, the thing about it is, what happens is some people will mentally tell themselves, just we just got to go through it. We just got when he gets home, don't do nothing to piss him
Yep.
off. Just stay
Mm.
out of his way. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what
You
I
know,
would do. I had gotten to the point where I knew that I was like, oh, it was, how can I describe it? It was a literal change. Like it was like his face, his eyes would change. At least in his case. Like I said, I'm speaking for me. I can't speak for other people. His eyes would change. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm about to just tell him to fucking eat a sandwich and go to bed. Like, but that didn't always work.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that movie Tales from the Hood with
Tales from the
and
hood.
David Allen Greer when he would come home and that little kid kept saying there was a monster in the house,
Hmm.
and you would see the shadows on the wall would be like some kind of ogre or monster, and it would be coming towards the door to get him, and then you would see David Allen Greer would walk in, and it was his stepdad was whooping his ass,
Mm.
Dang.
wow, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
and that's how a
And
child interpreted. You're thinking like he's going to transform into like an actual monster or something, or there's a monster in his closet. You see like the smoke and the shadows and everything, like a real monster that had horns and everything else, just shadows would. But then you would see it was just a man. It was just
Yep.
he was just an abusive father.
Yep.
Hmm.
And that's what it would. And you're right. Like when you're zoned out, that's what it looked like. He literally looked like the devil
Mm.
Now,
or the proverbial
I know a
devil.
lot of
Devil. I
people.
have no heaven or hell, but he looked like the devil. That's what he
Now,
looked like. You could see the eyes. His eyes were red, and his you probably somewhere along the lines like when in the midst of it, like he has horns and a tail. Like you could see that. It's crazy to explain, but yeah, I get it.
now, I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question of the men. Is there a silence code in which the men do not call out the other working class men? Is there a silence code that black men have for not calling out their own brothers? Is there a silence
It,
code?
yeah, I think it should be, but it depends on what the level of the violation is. Because like you should, to me, my first, I ain't gonna lie, your first, well, with me, when someone tells me something, my first uh inclination is to protect them, because they trusted me to tell me. Now, if they're doing something that's hurting them or their children or their family, then that needs to be immediately taken care of right away. You're going to have to either be isolated if it's criminal. Like my thing is like this: I'm trying to actually solve the problem, actually, not destroy people needlessly. And I think that if we keep a mindset like that, then nothing's perfect, but you'll solve more problems than you exacerbate. Because I believe that because of this society, our first inclination is to punish, hurt, destroy, kill, kill. We bring in more weapons to kill, destroy, and we think that solves the problem, but it actually keeps it going. It keeps most of these problems continue to keep bubbling up, and they just get worse and worse and worse and worse. People get traumatized, killed. All of these families and kids get traumatized, and they grow up and re-traumatize. So my thing is, it's like this: if possible, if like you telling me you having these thoughts and you haven't done anything yet, okay. I'm like, okay, so I'm sitting here listening. Let's go ahead, talk, man. Tell me what's going on, so that way we can keep stuff from actually going on. And then of course, like I said, my thing is from my experience in talking to people, I really think that people need to I know people think they don't need their family and they got all kinds of these triggers with their families and stuff like that, but a lot of times it be smaller issues. uh it might be big to that person, but a lot of times these families be loving these people and the people be keeping these stuff from their own families, and sometimes the family can help you. So that's how I look at it.
Okay. Um, and thank everybody for coming in. Um, I'm saying this. The only protection piece I see now that the women, for the most part, are doing, they say that a lot of women say that they want a man, right? There's women that say that they want a man.
Somebody trolling you? Who is this?
I don't know. I
Hmm.
don't know.
What is that
A lot
for?
of women say
Okay.
that they want a man.
Well, time to start timing shit out here.
Yeah, y'all already know how to do it, y'all. It always matters. I never understood that. Hang on, just one second. I never understood that. I literally can have a holistic, productive, logical conversation, and I literally will probably still get trolled, or people will still try to disrupt my conversation. Granted, not having nothing dysfunctional, not having something. I know some people think that, oh, here it goes BMT bashing black men. I don't know. Listen, man. Last time I checked, as a man, if I can't talk to you like a man and call you out, then then there's something wrong. And I do that with men and women. I'm pretty straight across the board. Jay will tell you.
That's
Mike
true.
definitely will tell you, and Kev will tell you. Like I'm like if I can't call you out, then can you honestly say that I'm doing my due diligence as a person to listen? Hey man, like we got stuff. Like it doesn't matter. Like we already done seen Ray J. Ray J went to a whole nother two other communities and still did the same thing.
Hmm.
So he didn't do it.
Listen, Ray J is the GOAT. Give Ray J his flowers.
Ray J went to a white community and an Asian community and still did the same thing, bit, choke, stomped and burned and beat up.
That
At
was
some
horrible.
point now, at some point now, you can't even like listen. I know y'all
And
say the
his
word
name was Black.
yeah, Ray
His
J
last
Black.
name was Black.
Like after a
that,
while,
that was a real bad look for us.
like there are like
That
I
was
was
an
like, yo,
L.
bro,
That was
like
an L, L, L.
so y'all can't even say. So now they're gonna be looking at the black women like, black women. I'm starting to see some truth in what you were saying on this one. Like,
What
nah,
and
bro,
that
Mm-hmm.
you know what's funny is that is basically pretty much what's starting to happen is a few years back you've had the palm colored community that's like, oh, y'all just don't know how to keep a man, this, that, and the third, and blah 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 blah. And then now when these same men that went over to the palm colored side started doing that, then it's like, oh yeah, maybe we should form a sisterhood because you guys were right. I
Mm.
mean, yeah, we told y'all that these motherfuckers that ain't shit, but we were the ones that were wrong. Like, we didn't, according to y'all, we didn't want to submit or listen or do anything. Yeah.
listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody saw Tiger Woods as a drunk until all them white Denny's and IHOP waitresses started calling him out. Nobody saw a lot of these dudes that
Mm-hmm.
so-called have these good jobs or have these NBA careers or lawyers or whatever. Nobody saw that these men are capable of doing what they're doing until the other Karen, Susan, Ricky, Tanya, Jenny, somebody else, Mayling says, "Hey, y'all need to come get your Negro because I don't know what to do with him."
Come
And
get your
they're
Negro.
like, "No, no, no,
Come
no,
get
no, no."
your Negro.
Yup, that. You see, that's the thing that's very interesting about Karen,
Whose
Susan.
job is it to get us though? See, that's
See,
the thing, and that's what I've been
But by
preaching.
that time, the black women have already thrown him away because we already
my,
knew he wasn't shit.
my
But
now, Mike, that
the thing
Mike, that's
is
got to be
though,
a conversation, Mike. That's gonna be a conversation. There's
right?
the
Because you can't see. That's the thing is you can't throw your product away. And no, and the people who think they can throw, like men who think they can throw black women away, and black women who actually think they can throw black men away. I'm talking about collectively, of course, individually in your own life, but you that doesn't make sense because it's like you're two sides of the same humanity. So it's like you're going to end up having to figure out something.
See, my next conversation, I'm doing a part series. My next thing is gonna be, whose job is it to check? Whose job is it to clean up Ray J Black? Lord, I can't wait till I do that. Like, y'all going? I told y'all, boy,
Wait,
y'all
who?
should.
I thought you was talking about Brandy's brother, Ray J. Who the hell is Ray J Black?
Rajery Black, the one who killed the woman in
You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Sansa Ray. No, 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 no. That's true. Like, listen, is it our job to clean up the Brittany Renters? Is it our job to clean up the Ray J's? Like, at some point, I'm like, yo, bro,
I
listen,
don't see how Brittany Renner is. I mean,
she's no, listen, she's still our baby. She's still our mixed bastard baby. We still have to deal with her. I don't know why, but shit, I still have to go pick her up from school and drop her ass off and shit and talk to her, make sure she gets on the school bus. But do I think? Do I think? Because
she said
ultimately,
you pronounce her name any old way.
you damn right I do. You're a black woman, and I pronounce your name in your way. You know who you are, damn it. You know Sasaray, say Saray,
You added
Sasaray.
letters that ain't even there.
Yo, that's the way, boy. Listen, black people, we can have a name, and somehow our name means 14 different connotations of that one name. Jean, Jean, J, J. Like I've done seen her name, Jay's name say sometimes. Now, to be fair, um,
I mean, Jean is technically like or Jean, like with the
sorry
that's
guys.
like a French pronunciation also.
now to be
Say
fair,
seer. Say seer
say
is how you.
fear, girl. Listen, by tomorrow we're gonna be butchering your name again, and we still love you. And but you still are our lady. You still our lady. Listen, that's black people. At some point, you get named by your own damn mama and daddy, and they still
And
don't
they
say
don't know your damn name.
hey, we don't know. Listen, bro, I had a name, but my damn parents called me boy, come here. But boy has a name. Boy, you know who the hell you are. Come here.
Yep.
I was like, guess I don't got a name. Shit. I didn't the only time they actually say your name is when you know you in some shit. That's when you know you definitely are in trouble. When
Somehow, some way, they know your first, middle, and last name when you in trouble.
when you in trouble, they coming. They coming. They coming. That's if I heard them say my first, middle, last name and they enunciated it correctly, accurately, oh, I know I was at
But I mean, even in relationships, like one time he called me. I don't know. We were somewhere. He's like, Jeanette. I was like, huh? Who is he talking?
Damn.
Who are you talking to like that?
Freudian.
Oh yeah, when you use your real name,
He didn't say
the
babe,
full,
baby,
the
Jay.
full name.
Like, who are you talking to? Like,
you already know you're in trouble. You already know
I
Nah,
wouldn't have
that's
said. I wouldn't have said that.
that ain't good right
If
there.
they
That's
use
a bad. That's a
my
red
full
flag.
name, I know it's serious. So I ain't gonna. It's like, what? What's up? We gotta run. We gotta fight. What's going on?
he done
Yeah.
said my whole name. I was looking around for somebody else because I was like, because I know that man ain't talking to me.
Dang. Is that your daddy or something? You act like dad. He acting like
Even my father don't call me my whole name. So yeah, even same thing. Even if he did, I'll be like, okay, what you want?
they done heard my name called in the back, my full whole name. I knew. Literally, that's why I now have my couch. Right? I have my couch. I have it nice and set up.
Right, when they say your actual government name and not like a variation of it. Like,
so whenever I know I'm in trouble, I just go ahead and go get my couch.
hell no.
My couch.
Have you ever had it where people call you everybody else's name until they get to yours?
Yep.
my grandfather used to do that.
Yep. Because that's how mad they be. They be mad at something. They just, Laverne shit, Smith, and then they call you everybody else's name, and then your name, the actual name is the last name. Oh
Like,
yeah.
how do you know
They
I
pissed.
did it?
They pissed.
You called everybody else. So
Yeah.
But
All
I'm
of that
looking at you.
ass
You knew who
whooping.
I was talking to.
Yeah, that lineage of ass whooping is about to be on you. The lineage.
like I'm just saying, man. Like it's been one of those types of things. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that one. I'm gonna definitely do that one. There's just so many things I could take out of this Ray J Black. I'm like, so who cleans up Ray J Black? Is that a black community problem? The Asian problem? Is that the white people problem? I know y'all gonna say that's
But
a
we're
people
not
problem.
going to clean it up because it continues to happen across. I think it's one of those things. To be honest, it's not just a community problem. I mean, it happens in the white community. It happens, and I think it's definitely something that ascends across racial lines with shitty people.
Now,
Yeah.
now I get you with that. Now I want to throw this at you. When they say they are divesting out and they're done, you know what I'm saying? They pull a Young Jeezy. Let's say Young Jeezy messes up and pops Jenny or whatever the hell he do. Is that our job?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Me, Mike, and Kev have to go down there. Hey,
Well, yeah, we gotta clean up the trash. That's
Jeezy,
how,
you put this
all of
hand
the refuse of
ring.
somebody else's destructive, dehumanize and destroy mangled soul. They
I
possibly
I,
when it's
I don't
useless
Why do
for
we have to
them.
clean them up? Why we got?
I
Hold on,
don't know
Candace.
about
So,
that. I think I might.
If Candace Owens get into some shit down that street,
yep.
but
Now we gotta clean Kansas
Albert,
up. Come on,
that's
come
between
on
Prince
back and get
Albert
hit. Come
and
on
the
back,
King of Wales. Like,
Kansas.
I don't got shit to do with them dead folks and Candace Owens. They get
Larry Elder, come on.
Larry.
Damn,
We don't
bro.
claim them. We
I
don't
don't know.
claim
I
them.
think I might have to
Larry
take
Elder
more
don't
tack.
know, bro. That's not
My,
our job to clean up Larry, bro. Larry done told where he hit.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to let that. I'm gonna have to let other people lead the way on that one for a bit, because I can't be fighting I ain't Superman. I can't be showing up at the nick of time trying to save every dusty dude out there from.
Right.
That's a full-time job. I'd have to start charging people like Ghostbusters. I'd have to be like, all right, man, I
Yeah,
saved you. Let me hold on to 200.
right. Yeah, it's a job though. I mean, I think that is something to be said for mental health. But I think that maybe the way you handle Black mental health is a little different than maybe other communities might handle it. So maybe it is something that we should encourage as a community. Of course, everybody's not equipped to do it, but I'm saying like uh, maybe some consortium of psychologists or something like that maybe should kind of get together and create something to just deal specifically with the bullshit that Black folks deal with.
But bro, we would be out there. Like I said, it'd be a 24/7
But
job like that.
yeah, it's not for
I
every
mean,
person
I
to do.
can't be
Yeah, we
at
can't
every
do it.
Popeye sandwich opening when they
Yeah.
introduce Popeye
Oh my
product, breaking up fights, trying to save niggas from themselves.
Hey, you got to be deputized.
Now, the
Captain
thing about
Save
it, I'm
us.
saying is, but now here's the thing I'm saying is that okay, if the person has properly divested out, they said, listen, I don't want to deal with y'all. I don't want to deal with your type anymore. Damn, I'm gonna have to do a whole nother stream for that one. And don't worry, I will, because I don't mind. Like I don't mind. I will definitely do that. When the Ray J's of the community, when Ray J Blacks of the community leave out, is that our problem anymore? To me, I'm like, nigga, you out the village. So whatever you burn, shoot, burn, do asunder. Why are that? Why? Honestly, tell you the truth, when Ray J was doing what he did to those women, I didn't give a fuck. Like honestly, I'm like, that's their problem. Why are we talking? Why do I got to give a fuck for what you do? They blow your brains out, shoot you
Facts.
dead. I don't give a
Well,
fuck.
because his name was Black.
Oh,
That's it.
okay,
Because
okay.
they
I'm
put him
just saying,
on. They put him
y'all,
on
y'all
TV, and they told the world. They told the world. They said this here is his name is Rogers, but this is the same thing as BMT. So when you see BMT, this is what you're looking at right here. This guy.
yep.
So that's what
Now,
they did. They
what we need to do,
stereotyped us.
what we need to do
No,
first, though,
no.
we need to be like the Catholic Church. The first step would be to start excommunicating folks from the community.
But that's BS too, because all the Catholic Church does is move into a different congregation.
But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. We need
For
to
the
start a
Catholic
Catholic
Church, I
Church.
wouldn't want to be in that community either.
We
Look
need
at
to start.
this
We
rapist,
need to
boy.
find a place to be like,
Oh,
all right,
shit.
brother, you done messed up. We're gonna send you to Liberia for a few months,
Okay. Rape them there.
and
You get your
then you
rape
can
on.
earn your way back. You can earn your way back, and or we just create like an island of misfit Negroes, and we just all right.
Okay. If we had that ability. But yeah, I wouldn't
Oh,
mind.
we
Why
got
not?
that ability. It don't cost that much
Mhm.
for some of these small islands. I mean, they building islands out there in Dubai.
We can't even get people
Yeah.
out the goddamn
Send them
community.
out there with Epstein and Clinton.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Send them with Epstein.
No,
just drop them off. But other than that, I mean, it's a starting point. Excommunication from the community where you messed up, so now we're not going to talk to you anymore. You can't go to
I
the
agree
fish
with that.
fry. You can't.
I agree with it.
Yeah, you can't go to fish fries. You're not allowed to come to church. You got to go. You just any kind
Damn,
of
the
thing.
fish fry? Can you bring me a plate?
Nope, we can't. You can't get no spaghetti plate. You can't get none of that. And then when things, I mean, people got to turn around. If they see you in the grocery store, they got to walk away. They can't like, no, man, I can't talk to you. You
Damn,
got
bro,
to
we better off dipping out ourselves and being on that island, just
Yeah, I
making
mean
our
that's
own
another
stuff.
option. I mean that's another option. We can pool our resources and start, the United.
You feel me? Good luck getting all them on the islands. I could see if we was moving like, I could see if we was moving like China, where we could just in the middle of the night hit them with the chloroform and they wake up on the island. But
Damn. Damn.
that's not the option.
Dang. Plans.
I
Plans and
mean,
strategies.
we might have to do that. We might have to pull some clan tactics. Start showing up in people's houses in the middle of the night, talking about Ray J. You have been found guilty.
No, but see, I mean, some version of that, I literally believe something to that effect, like, because the thing is, to me, if people are going to their government and they're getting protection orders denied, and I've heard that many times, even in my own dealings, just talking with people on the job and a particular family member that happened to. But yeah, people are trying to get protective orders, and people disobeying the protective orders, and nothing happening to them. It's almost like you're almost like, okay, are we supposed to kill this person and then they arrest us, or what are we gonna wait for them to do
Yo,
something?
we can
Yeah, it's like
Squid
the
Game them.
police. Yeah, the police wait until they either kill your person or maybe the family kills them before they kill, the
Well,
person
that's
who
always been
they're
a
trying to harass.
misconception anyway, though. People
Mhm.
always assume that like the police force is like the end all be all of authority. People don't realize the
Mhm.
police are reactionary, not they're very rarely proactive because a lot of you can't be proactive against a lot of crimes, especially
Right.
passionate crime. The
Mm-hmm.
police are reactionary. They will show up and they will piece together and they will serve justice for those who
Hmm.
have been
Oh,
who've been acted on, but they can't save you in a lot of times. That's why I tell people you got to arm yourself because you got to get trained. You got to learn how to deal with
right.
situations on your own because no one's going to save you. You call the police, it may be 10, 15 minutes. All they're going to show up is clean up what's left of you when the shit's over with.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot could happen in 10, 15 minutes. By that time,
And
it's over. It's
yeah.
Yeah,
you could be
most crimes
ghost
happen
in
in the
15
moment.
minutes.
And
You
some
know,
of these women be battling these people 3 and 4 years, filing all sorts of paperwork, and it's
Yep.
like, okay, well, you ain't dead yet, so
Hmm.
on back in
That's why
there.
I say we should Squid Game them. Give them an
On
offer they
back in
can't
there.
refuse. You willingly fly to this island. You see that pot of money,
well,
and then
but
out of nowhere,
that don't work because the police have that don't work because they've tried that with the with child support where they trick folks into coming in like you want a free boat and
Hmm.
then they because they be hiding from the proper authorities. People with warrants they do that where they send out to their family members these things like you want a boat or you want a car, you won the sweepstakes, you won $10,000, and they all of a sudden that letter finds its way into their hands and they show up to collect their prize and they get arrested.
Hmm.
hmm
Well,
And
Hey,
that
look,
doesn't
I've
work
seen,
all
I've
that well.
seen. Look, I know we've all seen bait cars where they just
Yeah.
walk past unsuspecting
Oh yeah,
That
vehicles.
is
yeah.
Maybe,
absolutely
maybe,
hilarious. Like, I don't understand. Like, people are really that fucking stupid.
Yep.
hey, maybe that's the way we do it. We just put a bunch of nice
So
unlocked cars out there. They
well,
lock up, and then all of a sudden you wake up on a hit them with the
so you
chloroform.
saying we got to put
With
bait?
the
We got
chloroform.
to put bait girlfriends out
You
there.
like that chloroform, don't
We got to put bait wives out there for folks to mess up, and then the moment
you?
they step out of line.
Aren't people advocating for that now? Like the was it the blow up dolls and stuff? So
Well, no,
we can put
Don't
blow
get
androids.
up
him
Let's
dolls.
back
started
in a
on the
little
blow up dolls. Do not get him started on the blow up dolls.
No. Android America. Like, no, the androids are different. That's a whole different situation.
Okay, okay.
hmm
Because see, they that's a different
I've seen it
dynamic.
on
We're talking
both
about a
sides
different
though,
family
so yeah,
dynamic.
yeah, no big deal. It can be a part of the family. I know the Asian. I know the was it Japanese? I think they've got some made some good advances in that area.
Oh yeah, they're light years ahead. They're like
Yeah,
that, and that's why they don't have these videos like us. With
yeah.
folks, they don't have these
Oh, they
problems.
do. They do. They
Yeah.
do. They
They
do.
they don't let those videos come out.
No,
They,
that's
they, they,
exactly.
they they
They
found a
know how
way.
to
They
treat
found
their
a way to
videos.
work around it. The
Oh,
androids have self defense programming.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow, wow, that's amazing.
no, they don't. They literally just
The
don't.
androids have
Asians,
self-defense.
Asians just don't tell their truth. Literally, they
Are
have
you?
these sexual problems in the world, and literally they don't report it. They don't want to report what they do. That's the one thing bad
Yeah.
about the Asians.
But
They the most.
they do have more outlets. I mean, you can buy panties at vending machines over there. So
No,
they're trying different options.
That's
Have
really
y'all
bad.
have y'all heard of China's social credit system they got going on over there?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I
Mm-mm,
would not do
Hmm.
I
that.
haven't.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, because remember I said yesterday that someone wanted me to bring sausage with me on my trip tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I have it here. I have it. I just want to let you know.
Oh, you went to Walmart?
Yes.
I'm
Uh,
getting used. I'm learning how to shop in Publix now.
I have it. And then he asked for, hold on.
What is that brand? What brand of sausage
I
is
don't know
that?
what brand. And then he told me to get this other brand, but I took it out the box. So I have to put these in my fucking suitcase.
Well, when my lady
on a
calls,
plane?
I'm the one that brings the sausage.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm going to him, so
Mm.
I guess I'm going to the sausage.
Now, are they gonna let you carry that on the airplane? Isn't
Yeah,
that
you
like
can
That's
carry
what
it,
I
but I'm probably going to
liquid.
get my bag searched.
Well, yeah, because the dogs are gonna go crazy. You're gonna be you show up 2 hours early, get there 2-3 hours because you know they're gonna search every part of you at this point.
Well, they already search every part of me but anyway.
I don't know that you can have. What do they consider that, the liquid or something?
No, I just figured
They
it's like
call it
food.
natural, not natural. They just call it like food. It's a different word for food, but they call it like
Mm.
I forgot the word they use, but just natural or whatever.
Well,
Mm.
for me, I would think that they would be suspecting you're trying to get some, sneak something else by that to throw off the
Right.
dogs.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
Like,
yeah, I
ma'am, why are
mean,
you
at least it's
carrying,
not an international flight, but yeah.
ma'am, why are you
mm.
carrying all this sausage in your bag?
I know, right?
They're gonna take all the shit. They're gonna cut the lining out of your
Very true.
suitcase.
Yup. Yup. Have all the. I mean, they're gonna make it an international event, like 10, 15, 20 police officers, dogs,
Be
and
like, sir, I'm only
snipers
going to
and
New
shit.
Jersey. It's not even an international flight. I'm not going to Colombia.
Yeah, but you coming from Florida. We didn't write
True.
about Florida in the
Oh,
news.
yep. Yep. Florida. That's all you got to say. Let's see that.
True.
Mm-mm.
True.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yep, they get CNN down there. They know what Florida's all about.
Oh my goodness. I can't.
Yeah.
they do have a lot of
Even though
information.
Florida is one of my favorite states, though. I ain't gonna lie. I love Florida. But
I
I couldn't live there because of sinkholes.
Yeah, sinkholes is a real thing.
I couldn't live there because everything's trying to kill you in that state. You can't swim no damn where because you got all
I
kinds of
love
animals in the
Florida.
water. You got
Yeah.
crocodiles.
You
They
don't
ain't
swim.
fucking with you.
No, you don't. Alligators aren't in the ocean. You can swim in the ocean.
No, but you got sharks. Then you got the great whites, and I come from
There's sharks everywhere, though.
yeah, I come from Hawaii. I used to swim in the ocean like it was nothing. Like I'm I'm part
It's
whale.
warm. The water in Florida and South Carolina, North Carolina, is warm. It's way better than
Yeah, and that's why
Hawaii.
the great whites like swimming there, and they got a free meal. Y'all out there like buffet entrees, no business in the water.
They hang out at the nuclear plants though, because they like
Looking,
the
No, those are
warm water.
manatees. The manatees hang out at the nuclear plants.
looking well done. They looking like our black asses in the water, looking tasty.
The
Okay.
manatees hang out at the nuclear plants because the water is warm over there.
Y'all out there swimming like soul food.
You don't swim near the nuclear plants.
Yeah.
they don't allow you to swim too close to the.
No, I'm talking about just in the ocean. I'm not, all
Ocean
all
is
them great whites out there
nice.
on the coast.
It's nice.
Oh my goodness.
You're not going to swim
Really
in the.
nice.
You're not. There's certain parts of the beach that they have it where either you're an advanced swimmer or you're qualified to be in that certain area, and then they'll have it where you're not swimming in.
Oh, and they will
everywhere.
find your ass too. Like if they have to come
Well,
get you.
no, but still, it's still the ocean. I mean, there ain't no area for advanced shark
No.
fighters.
If you go, no, they have certain parts of but they have certain parts of the ocean that are only for experienced swimmers. That you have to get certain qualifications to swim out there because of the tide. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Like what? Like you got to have your own harpoon, your own diver.
Yeah.
No, like
Better
like,
have it.
seriously, like the tides in
Shark
Florida,
whisperer.
like some of the water, them under tides will carry your ass.
Oh, you're talking about
Mhm.
riptides.
Riptides, yeah.
But riptides have never been a problem. Like I said, I grew up on an island. I never understood how people drown in them because if you know you're caught in one, all you gotta do is swim parallel to the shore. Most
Right.
people try to swim back and they
But
try.
people panic. That's what
Yeah.
happens. People
Panicking.
panic.
Yeah.
They
But
And
not
then
to
they-
mention, people. Here's the thing: like they'll close the beach. So I'm like about 10 minutes away from the beach, and I'm on the Gulf side. And one day we went to the beach just to kind of see the waves coming in because a storm was coming in. One of the hurricanes were coming in. We didn't really get hit, but it was just out in the Gulf.
Mhm.
And they were coming by telling people to get out of the water. They were like, "You can be on the beach, you can't be in the water." And they were coming by. You can't be in the water or near the water, like right on the shore. You know what I'm saying? You can walk the beach, but you can't be in the water.
Oh, that's surfing weather though.
Here's the thing. Even though they were coming by telling people to get the fuck out of the water, what the fuck you think people were doing?
Surfing,
Disobeying.
because that's
Disobey.
surfing weather.
That's what I'm saying. So that's where I'm going with that is they were driving back and forth. Like, you need to get out the water, need to get out the water, need to get out. And not to mention the sun was going down on top of that. But people were still there. So it's like you can only do so much. So I
Well,
kind of
just,
feel
you
like
know,
if they got
clean up
swept
the
out by
bodies.
a riptide, I'll just be like, bye-bye.
Yep. What you do is you hand them a red flag. And that way, that way, if we see out there, look, someone's drowning. Oh, he's got a red flag. That means he was told. We're not sending the Coast Guard.
Right. We're not sending help for you because we standing here telling
That's a
everybody to
good
get out
idea.
the water. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just hand them like a little beacon with little red
exactly.
light. That way, and this just keep that so when your body, so we can find that body easy.
Yeah, just tie it onto your ankle so
and
we
don't
can
tell them
identify you
nothing
when we get your remains.
Right.
Nope,
Write
don't
your
tell
social
them
security
anything.
number and your address down on your
Going out
arm.
there. Going out there. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, I'm full of good ideas.
Clearly, I see.
But you did mention that Chinese social system, and I wonder, I don't really like it the way they're implementing it, but I wonder if that could work for the Black community for the situation. Like in this situation, I mean, your social number can where it controls your ability to do things. Like, I'm sorry, sir, you've been accused twice of domestic violence. You can't buy a movie ticket at this theater now, and you can't get a pack of cools, or your license is no longer functional for purchasing alcohol.
I would join.
That's better than jail.
I would join the LGBTQ so quickly and say, "Fuck being a Black person."
No, like you can't you can't buy alcohol. Like if you violate driving laws, you can lose your driver's license, right? Well, if you violate people laws, you lose your ability to buy liquor since you can't control yourself.
But the problem is, it's like all that stuff at work, but the people who's controlling it, they can't be racist.
We're in an American society. If you're gonna put that on the Blacks, you would have to put that on every race and say, okay.
I'm fine. I'm fine making that blanket, but
of course you're fine. But you know how it goes there. You know.
I mean, we're talking about solutions to issues within our community. These are, I mean, make them have to go outside the Black community to buy that alcohol. Then, and you know what's going to happen is the other communities are going to mark up their prices for those individuals. They're going to be like, sure, buddy, you come in here.
Make money.
You can buy some of my liquor for 50% markup.
But you know what? You are right. I'll give you this. You're right on one point. Alcoholism is not discussed nearly enough.
No, not in our community at all. It's almost a badge of honor.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said,
weed.
Weed too, yeah, but alcohol, especially alcohol, being because alcohol is legal, alcohol is mind altering, and of course, and yes, do I drink? Yes, I drink. I don't drink a lot.
Well, moderation, though, you know.
But like I said, there are some people who can't get through a day without having a few drinks, and it's one thing. Okay, fine, you have a glass of wine after work or whatever, you know what I mean? That's one thing. You have a couple beers, but there are people that literally drink to get drunk every single day. And it doesn't matter when you get to the point where you're buying like the cheapest, strongest alcohol because it'll get you drunk, you know. And I do think alcoholism is not addressed nearly enough in this country, like just as a whole.
Yeah, stress. People under stress. Didn't y'all say somebody was biting somebody earlier? It was in one of those reports I think BMT wrote read. I forgot which one it was that somebody had complained. Was it Rogery that
Yeah,
bit the woman,
yeah.
or
The
was
guy,
it the other
the
guy
guy.
in Chicago?
No, it was the guy that worked at the hospital. He was biting
Okay,
and abusing on
what the
people.
fuck? See,
So,
didn't
but
didn't somebody else? Didn't we see a rash of bitings like up in New York and stuff? And there was somebody else biting people.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's like it's well, like Gene said earlier. Um, the news
what is
starts
this
reporting certain things
biting
when they see
people?
trends. Because I remember
Mm.
that you're right. There were a bunch of you used to see a bunch of biting stories start
I'm
popping
like,
up.
where does this come from? Like, I don't even know drunk people who bite people. You know, it's like you beat
No, I
people
remember
up.
seeing how I remember reading how a teacher bit a student and things like that. Like,
Uh,
yeah, it seemed like everybody in America was biting all of a sudden. Like we like
the thing about it is this: as far as it goes,
Weird behavior.
when people feel like they can't get certain access to things, they lash out on people,
Mm-hmm.
other people. They can't get and it's very very true what you say, sincere. Actually, alcohol, they put it when they prohibited put a prohibition on alcohol. Domestic violence didn't go down; it went up
Mm.
substantially.
See,
It actually went up substantially. When you tell people, just like when they thought, oh wait, well we're gonna quarantine people in, domestic violence went up because people felt like, well,
mm.
you're not gonna restrain me from what I want to do. So they started to
Mm.
do take it out on other people. They started seeing things and videos of stuff happen. So again, these things are definitely problems that we do not talk about. I will write up something for Ray J Black. How do we deal with people that when they divest out? Is that something of we have an embassy where we fuck with them or not? Honestly, because here's the thing: the people that are still in the community, they're not gonna leave. You
well, I
trying
mean,
to
but that was also the 1920s where guys were still putting their hands on women anyway
so
because it was
They
just
still
it
put
was
their
just
hands on women.
accepted. But I mean, it was not socially stigmatized. It was just accepted. You could just you know smack a lady around
Ah,
and it was manly. That
really?
was in that era where people didn't
Mm.
look at it as like a bad thing. It's just get a hold of yourself, woman, or who do you think you're talking to? I remember watching, you watch some of these old
I guess
classic
some movies,
movies.
the old movies. I guess
so
some
now
Yeah, and
Kev,
they
movies.
where they put a woman over their knee like a child.
so
Yeah, I
I
Kev,
mean,
think
I
I
saw
did see one
Popeye do
movie
it.
like that.
now
I saw
Kev,
Popeye
Yeah.
put
Oh,
now
yeah.
now
Okay.
olive
now
oil
Okay.
here's
over his knee
let me ask you that
and,
question.
and spank her, whoop her ass like a child.
So let me ask you a
Hmm.
question. If that was acceptable for that, would it have also been fair to say would it acceptable to be a Negro at that time?
Hmm.
Because you got to
Yeah.
think what they now
No,
you got. So the thing about it is that this is the thing that always got. I always ask the question when the men, not saying you, when they reach back to back then, it was okay to beat your woman, and I also said, well, back then it was okay to shoot a Negro. Well, we're American. Well, so was she. See, you forget Negro. You forget that at one point you had no more rights than what she had. Yeah, I did. I was a man. No, you weren't. You were three-fifths of a man.
yeah, but
No,
you didn't have much. That's why when people say stuff like, "Man, the good old days," when people start waxing philosophical about the back in the 1950s, back when America was greater, back when the country was good, back when the in the mid century of the 20th century, things were so much better back in the day. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, maybe from a perspective, if you were a upper middle class or wealthy white man, then yeah, the 50s, the 40s, 50s were probably a great time to be alive. I mean, minus the war.
but
But
so
if you were anybody else in the 50s, if you were a woman, black, gay, Asian, Native American, Mexican, or poor, those good old days weren't all that good.
now
Yeah. I
now
mean, I agree with that. because it was like I see. This is what I have. The only issue I have with some of that argument is it's true and false at the same time, because there's some stuff at that time that was good that we don't have today, but
Well, I mean,
then
you're right
a
about.
lot of stuff, that time was bad that we should never bring back. So that's all I'm saying. It's like we can't just be like, oh, the 50s. We got to reject. It's not an on and off switch type situation. It's
All,
just like,
not all or nothing. It's
yeah, yeah.
you want to sort of cherry. And I get it, cherry pick sort of the best parts of
Well,
it.
yeah, because and we can verify what was good and what was bad, based on some actual factors or whatever. And
So what?
so yeah, we can do that, but that's all I'm saying is like sometimes when people say, well, they can either make an argument back in the 50s, we gotta, like you said,
I
duplicate
would ask.
everything.
I would ask the
Well,
question.
no.
Well, I would ask the question of this because everybody always brings up black men. Back in the day, we had the intact family. I was
Mhm.
like, where the fuck were you gonna go? Where were you? Whenever y'all bring this stupid shit up, whenever y'all bring that stupid shit up, the 1950s, I'm like, where were you as a Negro gonna go in America? Where were you gonna go? Into a diner? You gonna go down the street? Where were you gonna go? I always ask that cognitive thing. Well, I could go into state house. No, they wouldn't. They would have beat your ass and throw you right off the back. Like, where were you going to go, or what were you going to do? I have rights. What rights? They just gave you rights. They literally they have to have a right. They had to set up amendments to acknowledge you have
I
rights.
mean,
So that
yeah,
you
like he said earlier, like
you
he's
have
like, well, I'm a man. You're right. You had it better than a woman, but you have to realize too, back then to white men, you had the same rights as a white child.
not even that. I don't even say that.
It
The,
depends.
Mm.
the
It
I would
depends on the particular person.
how
Well,
so?
but I
You
mean,
feel what I'm saying? It's a lot more
the laws
nuanced than that.
themselves were set up that way. The system was set in the 1940s and 50s. A black man was probably about as equal in power or in society's eyes as a white child. It was
Listen.
above being a woman, but it wasn't on equal pairing at all with being a white man.
Well, I would say this. I would say this because one, I would ask this question. Um, if a white child said that black man touched me, how long do you think
Mm.
they were gonna wait before you?
That's it. That's
If
it.
a white child said,
Depending on where you was at, it might have got ugly. It might have
where
got ugly.
now to tell me where
Because
at?
it just depends on, because I've heard different accounts of people living during those times, and for some people of all different colors and creeds, whatever. For some people it was good. For some people it was bad. It just depends on where
Well, a
it
lot
just
of that
depends on
might
where
be
you're from. You
nostalgia
feel me?
talking.
So
I'm trying,
Like
but
even
no,
as
I
bad
was
as it
saying, but
was, the world has been in certain times during our lifetime. We all, a lot of people can look back on certain elements of their past and see what they consider sort of a better time because it's through the eyes of like childhood when you didn't have the stresses of being an adult.
yeah, but
hmm
I'm curious. Like when people say, well, what part of America? I'm like, well, what part of America that you were in that you were treated so damn good that and nobody ever tells me that
I mean,
this
I
dark.
can give you some spots. I mean, and like I said, this is just to be fair
This is
because
with white.
to
This
me,
with other
I'm
groups of
just
people, or this amongst your people.
that's my point right there. What you just said.
Okay,
It's
so
a
you
lot
can't
of
you
times,
go ahead, go ahead,
yes,
go ahead.
not among other groups of people, but black folks at certain points in time in certain little enclaves. We had little enclaves before all this technology found out all of our little enclaves, and we had a little bit better times for a period, for at least a little bit of time. And these are facts. So, but it's not just like you said. That's why it's kind of hard to just make that blanket argument because it's not all good and it's not all bad, and it depends. Like the other
hmm
brother said, it depends on like where exactly you're talking about. Because Rosewood, we define it as all bad because that's all you talk about is the slaughter part. But obviously, for had it take at least 30 years of good part to that area because those people built up a good life for themselves for a while.
Yeah, but the
Just like
blacks and the whites,
Tulsa.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
just like
Tulsa had a great time period
the
too
blacks and the whites
for a
live on
moment
Mound Bayou.
until they burned that
Mound
shit down.
Bayou.
Now hold on,
Well,
Mike.
see, that's
Hold
what
on,
I'm
Mike. I
saying.
got
We
to
always
this.
define it as that 2 days of the burning down, but we're ignoring like the 20 to 30 years of good part.
Yeah, but
So
after
that's
that
all.
2 days of burning down, it never got back to what it was.
Yeah,
Well,
That's not true. They rebuilt it.
that's
That's
not
not
true.
true.
They
They did
rebuilt a
rebuild
lot of
it,
stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it never reached the glory
and
that
it
it
was
had
a
before they burned it
rebuilt it.
down.
right.
So
But
they
and
rebuilt it.
and more importantly, it was a collective building. It wasn't just black people building up back up Tulsa. It was the same folks that was wilding the night before came back together and they all rebuilt it. It was a
Wait. So
diverse thing
uh,
of rebuilding.
let me
well,
get
I can't go
wait. Let
that
me get it
far.
straight.
They didn't
So
rebuild it, but
let me get it straight. So
They did rebuild it.
they
mm,
beat them, killed them, and said, "Okay, kids, come back and let's rebuild
uh,
after I just killed off your families. Let's go rebuild again."
Hmm.
No,
no,
they didn't.
they
But the
didn't
only
do
reason
that. They did
the only reason
rebuild,
they
but they
rebuilt
did
it
not
is because they
rebuild
couldn't
what they
leave.
had.
The last
They
survivors,
rebuilt
the
it because
last
they still
survivors,
lived there. The
the
same way
last
when a hurricane
survivors
blows
of
over half of Haiti, they go and they rebuild because that's where you live. You can't. You. Some people
Well,
didn't
yeah,
have
yeah,
to go nowhere.
they rebuilt something, but it wasn't the
It
same.
was. It never got back to the prosperity that it had before it
No,
got
yes.
burnt down.
the
So that's
last
true.
survivors, the
That's true.
last survivors of Rosewood didn't come back until they were old
Yes,
people.
that's true.
They didn't come back. So that means it never went back because the people that originally were there, mind you,
Yes,
another nuance that people don't want to talk about. The blacks and whites lived on separate sides. They didn't live mingling amongst each
right.
other. The blacks lived on one
Hmm.
side, the whites lived on the other side. So when y'all and I live in the South, I can show y'all redlining. Literally, go what look at where the railroad tracks are at, and look who lives on one side of the railroad tracks, and look at who lives on the other side of the railroad tracks, and then you understand why they call it the line. It literally is two different sides. I don't know why y'all keep thinking that blacks and whites were living together and we kumbaya and shit. Like it's some kind
Even
of
in Detroit,
like
Eminem made the movie 8 Mile.
like you
That's
could
the red
have it.
line.
You could have it where we work. Listen, there's a difference between working together, having substantial things to do together, but that does not mean that I fuck with you. I just know how to tolerate you. There's a
Right.
difference. If that's the case, then I'm gonna go ask the Hawaiians. Let me ask them, hey, so I tell y'all, since y'all got a long haul with the white man, then y'all don't need y'all land back that they took from y'all. Them Hawaiians will probably
Damn, he gonna hit me where I live.
so
The
You,
that's why
you,
I
queen,
said
I think the
y'all
last
stop
queen
you
in
using
start. You
Hawaii,
start.
using the talking point that everybody's cool. They're not. But if you go ask the
Yeah.
Hawaiians,
the
they're not gonna hear that shit. They're gonna like, no, dude, give us back our
No,
fucking
you're
land.
right. I mean,
So
when I
no,
was a kid,
nobody's doing the get along game. We tolerate each
when I was a kid, they were still talking revolution like they're gonna take back the island someday.
well, I
Right,
remember
right.
I just worked with a white guy who tried to work out there in Hawaii. And he come back telling me some stuff. Oh, they're racist, man. Them Hawaiians, they don't like they'll let you work, Mike. They don't like me because I'm a white guy.
It's because we be living in like it's because we be living 3-4 families to like something the size of an apartment made out of pencil and dreams and shit,
other.
and then on land that you don't own, that are owned by people whose families just came and literally took it, just at gunpoint.
Now,
Right.
They
Everybody
literally
remembers.
stole it.
now I have now I'm asking this. Do you feel do some of the men feel that the reason why the women acquiesced over to them was because they were in an inferior position that they could not fully be functional black men like they could have been. That's why some of the women were like, well, shit, what else can I do? Like, shit, my man is dead. I don't got nothing else. So I got to go with the system.
That's right. That's
What time period?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter. You could try to
Uh,
give me a time period that
no. I said because I'm actually thinking about your answer because I'm prior to if we're still talking about like the 50s and the times before that.
Well,
Like I
let's go.
don't.
Let's go up to the 70s or 80s. Let's go up to 70s or 80s. or more.
Oh well, then yeah, no, I gotta
Eighties.
completely slide with what you're saying. Yeah, you you know
Yeah,
what I'm
and that's
saying? Yeah,
that's what
Because
I'm saying.
mind you,
and
you
this and that speaks to your intact family point that you were making, because in the 70s, you know, during the time of, you know, liberation and all this stuff rolling out, the families actually started, you know, dividing and splitting, and people started, that was the beginning of, you know, people started going their own way. But like
Heroin.
prior to that, and the reason why I say the 50s, like I don't think people realize how the whole thing about slavery was kind of a two-sided coin, because on the other, like on the one hand, it was brutal, it was, you know, the brutality of it, but at the same time, once blacks were freed, they had an immense amount of skill coming from slavery that allowed them to build
That's
and
facts.
come together like that. So you know what I'm saying? That's why I say it depends on, like, and again, it depends on who you ask. You know what I'm saying? If you ask a, I don't know, if you ask a black guy in a poor black guy in Alabama, you're gonna get a different answer than if you ask, let's say, Harry Belafonte or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's all different spectrums and stuff, and it's not necessarily, you know, because yeah, there was the white community and then the black community, but it's not like whites were just running through the communities and doing all this stuff. It was a lot of, the problems came when things intersected, and as long as things
Hmm.
didn't intersect, you know what I'm saying, black people could do their thing, white people could do their thing. It wasn't, I don't know if I could label it a good or bad thing. It was what it was. That's how I, you know what I'm saying, that's how I look at it. And then it's no different than, you know, 30 years from now, when people read the news and they look at the news and they see what's going on now, they be like, oh my god, it must have been terrible in 2021. You could be like,
Right.
I mean,
It
you know,
is.
it was, but you know, at the same time, it
But we
wasn't.
can
You know
never
what I'm
go
saying?
back to. Nobody wants to go back to a form of even self-segregation.
yeah, I'm not going back to segregation. Y'all
Right,
sound
right.
crazy. Y'all, when y'all talk about the glories of segregation in the family and we were attacked, I be looking at y'all crazy as fuck. Like y'all be like I be trying to ask my daddy, like, hey, was segregation? He said, you lost your fucking mind. That's how I know. It's not the segregation. Y'all be talking about the glories of segregation. Like there was like everybody was out there picking and having a good time and going to work and shit. Like dude, you had to drink out of a disgusting, not even clean water fountain. Like that was like the water fountain that they would let dogs and do all kind of atrocities to. Like it wasn't sweet for you. Like I don't know. Like when
Well,
people said the best time we had as a black people was during segregation, I'm like, the fuck? Like, hey,
no, yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I
what was
don't
so
agree
good
with
about
that.
I
segregation?
Yeah, and
I don't know about that.
on
I'm not
top of
necessarily
that,
sure
if
about that.
you have to frame it from, if a group of white people came up and started talking about, well, we just want to have, back when everybody was, y'all do y'all's thing and we'll do our thing, and
We
that's
already
good.
had that
Everybody
happen.
should do. It wouldn't come across the same way as when
Well,
black folks start
we
saying it.
we had that
You would not
happen on this
accept it.
channel. Well, actually, we were talking that on this channel, and yeah, that was happening. But the thing is, though, I personally, we can't have segregation because that's like defined where they still control where you live, and that was the problem because segregation, those people, obviously it wasn't good because you
But
had
that's
so
what
many
it
people
leads
rebel
to.
against it.
It's
Well,
still a form of
well,
self-segregation. Even if it's self-segregation, it's
well,
still segregation, because what's going to end up happening is anybody who tries to buck the system and say, well, I understand that black folks want to live over here, but I still kind of want to live over there and chase the snow bunnies. You're going to catch hell from trying to move into that area, because people are going to say, well, this isn't where human beings are naturally feudalistic like that. I
what
mean,
end up I think I'll say that what the conversation end up boiling down to, and like I said, it is what it is. It's no right or wrong. Everybody's got to have a thought about it, but it is basically, if you choose to be, someone who doesn't want to move around these other people, this is your zone, and then that's your zone, and then the biggest zone is the integrated zone, and that's pretty much how it settles down. But you know, of course, a
But it
lot of
won't
folks
be a
don't want to
far.
agree.
It's not a far reach for people to expand that into. Now, maybe we don't want outsiders coming into our group,
Well, I
and
mean,
now you have a new problem because you did make it to where people want to be separate or can just be separate. Well, now it's not just you choosing to want to be the same. It can be people wanting to choose to be exclusionary, and
Mike, do
that's
you
what
want me to
that's
Right.
what
start up a
ends up
screen time?
happening.
Now, Mike, do you want me
You
to go
talking?
start?
Are you when you say now?
oh, hold
Are
on.
you talking about like in today's time now, or
Yes.
are we have we moved to present time
Yeah, we're at
in
present
this
time.
discussion?
Yes.
Hmm.
Now, Mike, do you want
Because
me
I
to
because
talk about segregation? Do you want me to do a stream talking about would we survive in segregation?
We should,
'Cause
yeah, let's do that. That'd be cool. That'll be a good one because I think we've already talked something about this on this channel. I remember when you had some of your former uh, folks, or
Mhm.
some of them, they were over here. But the thing is, though, there was some. I think there was some interesting conversations out of that, and you know that conversation does need to happen because it's in the minds of people. To me, my thing
hmm
is like everything doesn't have to be right and wrong and all this kind of thing, but you know, if people are believing stuff, you know, go ahead and conversate about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Now,
you can
I
always
guess
have a
my
conversation
only
about it.
question regarding the segregation part would be segregation based on what? Because it seems
I
like
don't.
nowadays, um, more people are segregated based on ideology than skin color. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Where it's like, if you a lot of these echo chambers are just they're a lot of these echo chambers are actually quite diverse as far as the racial from a racial standpoint, and a lot of
Yes,
them are just more based off of what do you think, what I'm saying, like what's your ideology about.
but that
So if
was
we
my point.
segregated based on that, that would be a whole different type of discussion as opposed to, because I don't want to, I'm gonna be real with you, I don't want to live in an area with just all just
All
black people.
us.
Yeah, bro, I can't. Like, regardless of how
Well,
everybody thinks and feels, we're all just the same color. I can't.
You
Nah,
got to have
I'm not
some
with that.
diversity. Yes,
well,
do
I'll
you
but
think
say it
other
like
groups?
this.
Do you think
It
other groups
depends
have a
on where
problem?
you grew up and yeah, where you were. Somebody's got some stuff. Is
Yeah,
this
I
a
got some
Sorry.
stuff
Wendy?
going on. I
When?
will say,
Oh
but
no, no,
I would
but
ask,
go
I
ahead.
would want to challenge y'all. Do you think other groups have a problem doing that? Because when I was down there in Georgia, the Polynesians.
I don't have a problem with
No,
living just with
no,
me.
I'm saying this real quick. Then I'm gonna start like the Polynesians, the Guams, the people on the naval base. The Asians had no problem living amongst them. They didn't never say, "Well, damn, I want to be like to have a black person living." No, they didn't want. They didn't ever ask for your funky monkey behind to be living in their goddamn freak. You think the white the Irishmen say, "Hey, I wonder would a black person would ever want to live around it?" Like no other group has ever. I've never seen another group ask for you to live in their community. I've never seen another group ask for you to ever.
well, that's what I was saying. Is that like what Freezone was saying? It's not about nowadays. Yeah, you're right. It's not about race, but a lot of things, but ideology. But people will always find something to segregate themselves and to keep others to be exclusionary. It's just
Right.
part of human nature to be
But
exclusionary.
because I get what Freeze,
Right, right, right.
I get what Freeze on is saying. Like, listen, man, I love my people, but
Because
sometimes I don't like certain things or behaviors that some of my people do. But that
right,
literally,
right.
but then I can also show the community I live in. This ain't no lower. This ain't no. This is a
Well,
six-figure.
because you end up with problems with just blacks and well, like Southern blacks and Northern blacks, East Coast blacks and West Coast blacks.
Yeah.
We in that regard, you would end up with problems in that sort of if people wanted to stay, just those interactions alone would have issues.
Just to be honest though, you know, the thing is, it's just because of this country, the culture that we've been. I mean, we've been baking in this pot for like hundreds of years now. Even though, yeah, we some of us is northern, southern, all these different spots. We generally can live around each other, and our problems, like if we have a problem with somebody else, we don't blame it on because he's from New York. We just end up having a problem with that person. It's not, oh, you from New York. Oh, y'all, I gotta fight you
Oh
because you
no,
from
no. We
somewhere.
do that.
It
We got it.
happens. It
Wait,
happens. So I'm not.
you're down here in Texas, aren't you, Mike?
Well, no, right now I'm in California, but
Oh, because
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna say
live in.
down here in Texas, they will call you. Oh yeah, a Yankee. I mean, from the north.
Well, that's
Yeah,
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
culture from
they'll
that
they'll
area
blame
from
you real
a long
quick
time
down here
ago.
for being from the north.
I mean,
Yeah,
but that's coming from the north, bro. That doesn't mean anything. Like I've had people call me Yankee and all that stuff. It means nothing to me.
yeah, yeah. That
You know,
doesn't really hit you. It don't hit you the
so
same as yeah,
from an anecdotal standpoint, I've lived in white communities, and a
yeah,
lot of times the community is it's each person to their own house kind of deal. Like each person has their own life, and it's not a neighborhood as much as it is just a collective of people living together. Everybody has their own
right.
life. So as long as if when you move into that neighborhood, as long as you're not causing problems in that neighborhood and you're quiet like everybody else is quiet, they really don't have anything to say to you. Like it's not it's a non-problem. When you come in there and all of a sudden you're making noise and you're doing the nigga shit, that's when that's when it's like, all right, who's this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of that, but it's not really centered around skin color. And even if somebody has an issue with your skin color, it's not like it would be something that you would know about. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Everybody has their own life. They're all they're all grinding their way through life like everybody else, and you don't have that whole us together kind of deal like you did have back in the day.
Well, I'll say it like this too, and just like I said, it depends on where you were growing up at. I've noticed, and what you're comfortable with, because as we grow up, we get comfortable with a certain environment. We get used to seeing certain things. Like me growing up in Detroit, I actually prefer, like, any place I go to, I go to the blackest part of the town. Like when I was down there in Arizona, I was looking for the black town. I was like, where are the black people? I was seeing like one or two black people. That it felt very weird to me not to have like an area where just mostly all black people, because that's all I've been used to. I'm uncomfortable around where there's not enough black folks or something like that. So, but you guys, like I said, if you have grown up in a different situation, then you become uncomfortable with maybe too many, I guess, black people or something to that effect. So that's I think that's just socialization. And that's why I said, like, you don't just create a policy and then force it. So that's segregation. You're forced to live in this certain area. No, but see, when Kev goes against the self uh induced separation, for those who choose, okay, this is where I'm comfortable at. Well, I don't think we should have a problem with that. I don't care what color you are, whatever. Like, I don't have a problem with Asians or white folks or whoever. If this is where they want to live, they're comfortable here. There you go. Let them have it. I don't
No,
care,
but
and
you're
they shouldn't have a
speaking
problem.
Mm-hmm.
you're speaking from
Hmm.
the perspective of a person coming into the situation, so it's beneficial for you.
Hmm.
I'm saying that there are people that will eventually decide there's a different component. Like you can invite yourself over. That don't mean that you were invited over. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You wanting to move into that area where I can live here and I want to choose to be around these people. Well,
Hmm.
they also have a choice to not want to live around you. And that's when the problems show up. And that's how things like redlining started.
Well, yeah,
People.
but go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I mean, it's like back in the day when black people wanted to move into white suburbs,
Hmm.
and the white people who had chosen to live in those suburbs didn't want those black people to move in,
Hmm.
and they wanted to
And
keep it a certain way. And if it changed, they would leave, or they'd run
right,
you out. One of the two.
yeah.
I
But
only
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think the whole concept of the white suburb is kind of dying out. Like most suburbs are very, very diverse.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
it
like,
would
you
be.
know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna. There's very few places where you're gonna move into the city and some white dudes are like, who told this fucking black coon that he could live here? Like
Hmm.
that's not really the game. That's not
No,
really
yeah,
the
no, but
game
what
in
I'm
town
saying
now.
is
You know
it won't be by racial, it won't be by racial lines anymore. But it will
exactly,
be,
exactly.
it will be by ideological lines.
Right.
I probably say that I just finished moving. I just bought me a house, and there was a
Hmm.
whole nother house. There was a bigger house. It was a 6 bedroom house, in Rock Hill, but the population was like I think like 2,000. Literally, there was only three about probably 4% blacks. Everything else was white.
Mm-mm.
The fuck I look. The
I
fuck
can't
I
be
look
around
like.
that
The
stuff.
fuck I look like going out there in the country with a bunch of white people. Nigga, I'm not taking that, bro. I'm
I'm
not doing
perfectly fine with that.
Or even or
No
even
that.
way.
without your
I will
Hey,
not
if that's what y'all
do
want to do,
nothing like
if
that.
that, if that, if
No
that what
way.
y'all want to do, that's on y'all. But I'm
or
I'm
not
not
even
going
to
out
sending my
there
remove
kids to those
to
their
schools.
remove
country
I'm
the,
not
the,
sending
the
my
white
with
kids.
white
component.
people. Y'all can
No.
go out there.
To
I,
remove the white component.
they ain't gonna,
How
they
would it
gonna let.
look? How would it look for me to move into Chinatown in San Francisco?
I mean that. I mean, I don't. You.
I mean, because
I
see,
think
I'm,
it's
telling you,
not just
I'm
white
sorry.
people. Is what I'm saying. It can be any
Well,
group.
no, that's what I'm
You know?
saying, and that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why I don't really have. I think that we had a
I'm
problem
not
with
going.
it
I'm not taking
in
that.
our
I'm not
past
taking that.
because we were
I'm
told
not going out there.
that it was wrong, for people to do that, and so we felt like because we were citizens, then we're just as good as any other color. Just because you're white, we should be able to move in there, and it's partially true because that's what we were told. But in reality, if you look at the entire globe, nobody does that. Every
Hmm.
group has their own space. You know what I'm saying? And the melting pot of America, even I think these don't you have I don't know too much about their business, but I know white people they have issues with Italians and or
Well, yeah,
Irishes and
that's what that's
all
the
this
point
other
I'm
stuff.
making. Back in the day, the Italian. I mean, look at the mafia. You had the Italian gangs in New York was
Yeah.
divided up
So
into areas. Hell's Kitchen. You had Italians. You had Irish. You had the Jewish. You had all these different types of white people didn't even want other white people from other white groups living in there. I mean, Americans with the way they look at what they call Euro trash. I mean,
mhm,
like people will find a way to keep not want other groups coming in, especially if their community is running on all cylinders. Any
right.
new person it ends up looking like a threat.
People people got to understand like we haven't been doing this and so we don't understand the power of this, but all of these groups they have these different associations, they have these family type of connections, they have all this trust that have built up between certain families over generations, and so like they have a certain connection, and then here you come in Leroy, he wants to date Susie, and Susie was promised to, Todd when he was 3. And now Susie don't want Todd no more. That's messing everything up.
Well, yeah, I
See,
mean,
this is
it comes
no,
it
no,
can
we gotta
be
get these N words out of here. We can't have it.
it can
And the
be
thing is,
It,
Let me.
it can
it
be
it
and
really just
cultural. I
yeah.
can
It
I
just
can
it's a
move to a
cultural thing.
place.
There we go.
All
I
right.
There
can.
we
I
go.
mean,
Because it
it's
depends, man.
cultural because I could
We're
move to a
Like let's say
place.
stopping this show. I already went over 15 minutes.
yeah, let's
yeah.
cut it off because it's too long. All right, y'all.
But I already set up the show. You can look it up.
All right.
Already set up the show. It's literally called Will we be able to fix our issues if we went back to being segregated? So some
Yeah.
people said
All
James.
That that.
right.
Hey,
Some
great stream, y'all. Great stream, y'all.
I
Yeah.
I hope
All
to
right.
see y'all
I'm
guys
peacing
there.
out. Peace, guys.
Mike, you better be there because you'll maybe be having Cock Point, Kev, Free Zone. I hope to see y'all guys there. Um,
That's a bet.
literally, so that way, I want to hear y'all talk points. Like I said, I'm gonna throw that boomerang out there. Like, hey, so the Samoans cool with the white man taking their shit? Because I can promise you, they ain't gonna say that shit. Oh yeah, I look at who he is, and
No, no. Well,
They're gonna,
no, sir. And
y'all got
Hawaiians and
Dwayne.
Samoans
Y'all
are
got
not the
Dwayne
same, by the
Johnson out
way.
of it. You got Dwayne Johnson out of it. So I mean, y'all.
But Hawaiians and Samoans ain't the same. Like Samoans are
In the
so
white man's
thin.
eye, you're the same. So guess what? Nobody complain when y'all got Moana. So y'all got a whole princess and a Maui god. So nobody complain about y'all. Like I felt like we got a frog and a princess. Y'all got a Maui god. Clearly, Jasmine got a genie. We got a frog. Clearly, the powers that be did not give us the favorable stuff. So other than that, you guys, and we can have that doggone Disney debate. Which minority princess got the best powers? Frog, God, or goddamn genie? Like,
Hey, brother Voodoo was Mr. Voodoo was pretty bad
he
until he
wasn't
got.
on our side. He wasn't even on our side. He was on the like you had a genie, you had a magic carpet. Moana had a whole chicken and a Maui god and a boat.
Yeah.
And also, she was an avatar. She controlled water. She could do things and jump in the water and dash out and stuff. Like, come on, bro. Like, we just did not have the same powers. No, we were a freak. Other than that, you guys, I'll see you guys later on for the next stream. Peace. I'm going to go grab me something to eat. See you
Peace.